Alrighty, this is the video replay analysis for Week 3, Game 1, Pantless versus Endgame. So, in the scouting the week before, you guys had some target bands that you wanted. You wanted to target Larissa's Witch Doctor and some of Decode's offlaners. Then, I think just day of, you guys decided to go with a Juggernaut ban because Kale first picked Juggernaut in like 2 of his last matches, whatever. And apparently Kale's thing is he picks his carry first phase anyway, which is weird, but whatever. So we were discussing that. I recommended we not go for the Witch Doctor ban. They didn't even end up picking it anyway. They went Lich. The Lich ended up being an extremely weak laner and sort of underwhelming in the late game. The Juggernaut ban early first phase, just puts him on one of his other carry heroes, and that's fine. It's fortunate that he went with the Spectre, which was so slow. You guys lost Underlord first round, but Kai has gotten so good at the Underlord that it's first pick material for you guys at this point. And I think you should still try and get him Underlord every chance you get. Snapfire is a comfort pick for Jeebus, that's fine. Haven't seen him play an official on support, and if you time the stuns and the harass right, that could be an excellent lane. The Oracle doesn't seem great. I'm not sure what the save is here. Theoretically, I'm imagining the False Promise could be really good for both Cent and Sven. Probably Centaur in the mid game and Sven in the late game, but I don't remember seeing a lot of False Promises on the Sven. I did get to watch both these games live, but I don't think Sven was saved very often. I just remember Sven dying a lot in some really unfortunate spots. The healing in lane is nice, but you have to disarm him to do that, so it's basically in between creep waves. And then the purge isn't really needed. You end up using the purge, I think, a lot in the lane phase just for battle hunger, which is not a good trade. We'll get into that once we start the review. You can also purge off Ice Shield. But that's not great. Maybe at some point if Storm jumps in when you purge off the Orchid Silence, but really I don't think you're getting enough out of the Oracle. And you could have taken your Witch Doctor here. It wouldn't have given you the save, but I'm thinking maybe the stuns and something you're a little more comfortable on would have been a bit better. The Sven felt good. You guys saw the Spectre early and decided to go with something that would farm faster and then have a bit more mid game push. I think the Sven was an excellent choice. That worked out really well. Comfort hero for Son, I guess. His farming pattern was good. He did avoid a few more fights than I expected him to. And then once he got his Ags, I also expected him to jump into fights more. But even after the Ags, he kept farming until he got BKB. And then once it was a fresh 10-second BKB, then you guys started going for fights. But I feel like with the Ags, you could have been a little bit more active, especially with the Clinks. And the Clinks feels terrible here. So you guys had to pick your mid before the enemy team, so they got to counter pick it a little bit with the Storm, and then it's in a matchup against Spectre and Axe. So Spectre's global, he just haunts on the Clinks, finds him. Storm Spirit is basically global after the mid game. He's going to zip across half the map and help grab him. Axe is going to blink call, blade mail, and grab him. So the Clinks here feels really bad. The AI says it's fine. It's actually better than both the things I would have recommended. Wind Ranger was floated, and that's sort of a comfort hero for Hansen. I've seen Hansen play Clinks a few times, and I would say it's just not as good as his Wind Ranger. You play it okay, but it's not like your signature hero, and it's not on your signature heroes list. Wind Ranger is, and you guys mentioned it pretty early on and then immediately dismissed it because you said, well, Wind Ranger doesn't feel good against 2 heroes with Blade Mail. And I feel like in the voice comms, multiple people kind of agreed with that, and then you just dropped it as an option altogether. That's not accurate, and I'm not sure how many people are Wind Ranger players, but if Wind Ranger casts Focus Fire on someone and they Blade Mail, there are about 5 different ways that you can cancel that. And the easiest one is with one of the movement modifiers. And so if you're not familiar with that, you can just look it up. I'm sure there's 47 Wind Ranger guides, and one of them will talk about it. But basically, if Wind Ranger ults someone and they blade mail, you don't have to keep killing them until you kill yourself. That's a Guardian level thing. Anybody playing Wind Ranger afterwards will probably go ahead and just focus fire someone, bait out the blade mail, and then cancel it so that their blade mail and whatever other defensive items they were using get wasted, and then Wind Ranger will re-engage in the fight later once a ridiculously short cooldown ult is back up. But you can immediately cancel it. So blade mail carriers countering Wind Ranger is not a thing. Even though Axe and potentially Spectre could have been blade mail carriers, that was not. That was unfortunate that you guys sort of dismissed it because I think the theory crafting is wrong there. I think Wind Ranger would have been a better pick. You guys offered Hanson Drow. You guys kind of mentally pigeonholed yourself into the Drow early. I remember you talked about picking Drow Luna from like the second pick, like before the Centaur, which I thought was really weird. I don't know why you guys wanted to sort of really lock yourself into that strat, and I'm glad that you didn't and moved away from it completely. But even up to the last second, you were offering Hanson the Drow. The Drow doesn't feel excellent here. The Luna definitely doesn't feel good here, and I'm really glad you didn't take the Luna. You were talking about flexing it as either 1 or 4, and I think the 4 Luna here would not have played well. Not because 4 Luna is impossible to do, but it's a very narrow niche play style, and I don't think you guys would have pulled it off. I think the Snap 4 was perfect, and the carry that he's more comfortable on was good, and then once you get away from that range hero buff, there's no reason to then go back and try and get the Drow mid. I think that would have been iffy, especially with, again, the same combo, the Spectre, Axe, and the Storm Spirit would have all been issues. Clinks versus Storm Spirit, that's a skill-based matchup. Both of them are natural Orchid carriers, but also neither one of them has a built-in way to dispel the enemy's Orchid until one of them buys a BKB. And I think both of them do get BKB in this game, and they both actually get Lincolns. But other than that, there's no way for them to sort of dispel it naturally, and so it's more of a case of who jumps who. But unfortunately, Storm Spirit has the advantage there because Storm Spirit will jump the Clinks from halfway across the map, whereas Clinks has to find someone in one position, fairly stationary, and then jump them from Invis and keep them there. But the problem is Clinks doesn't have a built-in way to keep them in one place long enough to strafe them unless he gets his Scythe of Vice, and Scythe of Vice is like typically the 4th or 5th item for a mid Clinks, and this Clinks didn't end up going Scythe at all the entire game. Ended up going for MKB because the Spectre goes Butterfly, but it was extremely late, and the Clinks ended up being really underfarmed this game, I remember, and having almost no impact. The Sven was all of the late game damage. It was the Sven and the Snapfire, really. I mean, I'd have to check the damage charts, but I wouldn't be surprised if the Snapfire ended up with more hero damage than the Clinks, because the Clinks felt really bullied once the mid game ended. Did okay in the laning phase, held his own against the Storm Spirit. Storm got the bottle and ended up beating him in lane a little bit that way with the sustain, and then Clinks didn't have good gank opportunities. Tried a couple, failed, and basically fell behind. And once Axe had his Blink Dagger and Centaur didn't, Clinks was on the back foot for the rest of the game. I think Clinks was the least farmed of all 6 cores for a very long time, if not the whole game. I'll have to check again, but I remember seeing at least at one point Clinks was 6th in network, so that was terrible. For their team, the list doesn't look great. Spectre's going to be late. Rubik is all skill-based. Not sure how Boss is going to play. He ends up winning the lane against the Oracle. I don't think that should have happened. Axe was a good choice. That wasn't bad. And Storm was an excellent pick for them. So let's go ahead and take a look at what the AI says. I'll give it a moment here to process. It needs a second to see what the lanes are, at least for the new one. Alright, we got an error code for some reason, that's fine. I was hoping you guys would lean for Alchemist, actually, so let's give it a few more minutes. I thought Wind Ranger would have been a better pick for mid, but I was actually thinking that you guys should have gone for an Alchemist pick as your mid laner. Alright, let's see what we have here. Some error code. Yeah, it's been bugged since the last update, but that's fine. So you guys have a 99% chance to win at the beginning, which peters out to a 58-ish, maybe a little less, probably like 50 couple % chance to win late game. That's because of the Spectre scaling, which seems about right, so that's not a big issue. They have less physical damage, less building damage, and you have more health sustained, so that's fantastic. The laning here, this is bugged out for some reason. It's not giving you the advantages here, but let's see. Centaur Snap versus Spectre Lich, that's an advantage for Radiant. The Spectre lane is weak. The Lich is not going to be excellent here. The damage reduction from Frost Shield early isn't great. I imagine the Lich is going to go heavy on mangoes and try to go the nuke build. You get like 7 mangoes, and then every 7 seconds you just nuke someone. It's an awful lot of damage, but it just eats through your gold real quick. But the Snap Centaur lane is tanky and puts out a lot of damage. So this should be a huge advantage for Radiant. Again, the mid matchup is skill-based. I don't think either of these has a particular advantage. Storm Spirit has a really short attack range, but if Storm Spirit manages to get a double overload proc onto Clinks trying to go for the range creep, you get the extra range from the procs, plus he gets a value point in Vortex. So you go the 1-1-1 build, and basically you shock the Clinks 3 times, and he's forced out of lane. Storm, I expect, is going to go bottle. Clinks, I don't think is. And so if Clinks gets nuked out early and sort of bullied back in those first couple waves, Storm gets his bottle and pulls way ahead. But otherwise, Clinks' attack range and animation should be enough to keep up. Sven, Oracle, Axe, Rubik. I feel like this lane's a wash, so neither of those supports is particularly strong. Rubik Magic Nuke might help a little bit. The Oracle healing is probably going to help sustain the Sven more. I imagine Axe is either going to have to go some early protective stuff, maybe at like a Vanguard, or ferry out more regen than the Sven. I don't imagine the Sven is going to have to bring as much regen to the party as the Axe will. So overall, you guys have a fantastic, what is this, 77% chance to win the game? That's huge. So I remember changing it to Alchemist, and I think it drops 2%. Let's see if that still holds. Is locked. No, Alchemist is the same. I was not recalculating. Okay, I think it's bugged out. But I think when I changed it to Alchemist, it was slightly behind, and I think Drow was actually much worse. So apparently the AI really likes the Clinks pick, and I'm okay with it. But I'm just not as thrilled with maybe some of the other options. But I'm glad you didn't go with the Drow. All right, so we're going to do this this replay the same way as all the others. We'll do position or player perspective, starting in position 5 and going all the way back to all the way up to P1. It's weird. Why can't I get this to? Oh shit! There we go. I just had it where I wanted it to. Alrighty, let's see what the Oracle's got. 2 sets of tangos, shared with mid, I'm sure. Salve, 2 mangoes, branches, and observer. Okay, sounds good. The clarity as well. I imagine the branches are going to get turned into a wand, and of course that's a good amount of regen. Let's see what your carry has. Excellent, so he's got a Coin Blade, and then lots of regen. 2 sets of tangos and a salve. His iron branches, I don't like that as much. I'm thinking he might need a Fairy Fire and a stat item early, but yeah, that's just me. Because I'm sure he's not going to turn those into a wand, and those are going to be a little wasted, but whatever. Alright, so I think you plant the ward up here, and I remember this being unfortunate because you plant it outside the spawn box. Oh, excuse me. Yeah, there it is. Excellent spot for visibility. Doesn't block the hard camp here. But that means you have to watch over that hard camp and pull from it yourself every now and then and make sure you don't lose it. The Rubik ends up pulling that camp into the wave quite a few times and ruining your equilibrium, making the lane a lot harder. So I remember in game, or in between games before your second one, I hopped on your voice channel and mentioned his warden spots, and then you guys improved for game 2. Okay, so we're hanging out here. You got the Fortune's End, which is good, 120 damage. Go ahead and cast any time you'd like. 15-second cooldown, real short. Sven gets level stun and gets the rune, so that's good stuff. Worked out well. You never cast your Fortune's End. I wish you had, because that would have come off cooldown, and then you would have started gaining some of this back. Because you figure 50 seconds, the waves don't meet until like the 20-second mark or 30-second mark at least, and you would have had you know, a lot of that mana back and done the extra 120 damage, but whatever. So this part back here, though, bothers me even more. So you didn't use your spell at the rune fight, which isn't terrible, but this is not great. So right now, you guys are just hiding behind your tower. So you're walking back here. You've just won the rune fight. Their team is disappearing off to who knows where. You've got this ward, so you got a little bit of vision in the area. But the problem is you guys both run back to the tower here, which is okay if one of you is going to block. But there's a thing with the safe lane radiant. You know, creep equilibrium. Someday I'll get that word right. And if you don't mess with it, it ends up ending somewhere around here, and the tower gets a couple hits on it. So you don't want to block your creeps unless they're also heavily blocking theirs. But you can't tell that because you're way down here. So the issue is you're out of position. Sven is here. He's just kind of playing ring around the rosy around the tower or whatever. You should be somewhere else. You shouldn't be hiding back here. There's absolutely no reason for you to hide in this little nook in the lane here because you have no vision here. You've got, you know, your ward vision up here. But you won't know if Rubik is over in this area doing anything. Rubik disappeared. I think the root fight was here. Excuse me. And then Rubik ran off this way somewhere. Like, I didn't even see where the Rubik went to, which means you don't know either. Rubik could be dropping a ward over here. He could be skirting this area, trying to drop a ward here. In his inventory, he's got a sentry right now, so he's going to come up this way and start to deward. And he may actually kill your observer here. And if you're hiding way back here over on this side, you have no vision of any of that. You're not going to see him ward in this area. You're not going to see him come up. If he plants the sentry here, you want to be close enough to the observer that Rubik hits it once and then you hit it the second time so that you get the deny on the observer ward and Rubik doesn't get however much gold this is worth. And experience too, actually, I think. I think the observer gives you both gold and experience. But if you're hiding way back here, you're doing nothing. And there's no reason for you to, you know, just basically, you know, passively wait for the game to start, because the game has started. You know, the game has been playing for about a minute or so. It's not like this is still pre-game warm-up or whatever. You got to be active. There's no reason, if you're not blocking the creeps, to hide back here. So really ideal positioning is somewhere here to here to here to here. Like in this box is ideal position. You're not going to get jumped and ran down by these two. And if you do, or if they try to, you start running back this way, and then Sven meets the wave uncontested. But right now you're just not doing anything productive. Whereas, you know, there are 3 different productive things you could be doing. So right here, looks like Rubik's walking up. He's got his ward. You're going to hit. All right, good. Killing this tree, that's excellent. I don't know if Sven did that with the Clone Blade or what, but that's perfect. It gives you that little sort of juke alley that I was talking about in previous games. So that's a huge improvement. The fact that you guys cut that one tree right there for extra mobility is great. I would have also cut one of these other trees further back, but it's not as big of a deal. Just having this one here is huge. And maybe I'd probably eat your first tango on one of these trees. How long does this pause? I have no idea. Okay. Okay, so you guys are harassing, you're harassing. Going for whatever. Okay, so that was a huge waste. So right there, it looks like you just cast Fortune's End for no reason. Let's watch that again here. Okay, so he used Battle Hunger. Battle Hunger's ticking down on you. Battle Hunger does what? It's like 12 by 16, so 160 plus 2 16s, 32, 192 damage. Magical reduction is 25%, so take off another 50. Somewhere between 140, 145 damage total. Which is a good part of your health, but it only cost him 50 mana to drop that nuke on you. So you're sitting here, you're ticking out. You got what, a third of the Battle Hunger left. If you want to use this spell to self-purge, you need to do it at the beginning. There is no reason for you to basically let this Battle Hunger tick down. I'm wondering if you're going for a creep here. Okay, no, so you're not even hitting the enemy creep here. You're starting to drop your own creep and deny it. So this creep is awfully high. You're not going to get anywhere near to it. You're now 2/3 through Battle Hunger. None of these creeps are low enough that you can last hit them to get off the Battle Hunger naturally. You're now at 3/4 Battle Hungered. And if you use Fortune's End now, you're basically going to cancel the tiniest little smidge of damage here. Like right now, you're going to go for it, cancel, and wow, that was like the tiniest little, maybe 10%. So you probably saved like 10 damage to your health at the end by using Fortune's End. But of course, you'd already bled out most of the Battle Hunger, and it cost you 100 mana. So Axe, if you keep doing this, Axe is going to trade his 50 mana for 100 of your mana, and that's if you cast perfectly. But if you don't cast perfectly right at the beginning, you're going to lose 100 mana and then only heal less than the, or still take some of the 140 damage. So you basically have to decide, either use the Fortune's End to nuke people, which is what I recommend. I think you should be using it to damage the Rubik, or purge off the Battle Hunger, but you have to do it immediately. And really, if you're going to purge the Battle Hunger off yourself, try and stand next to these two heroes, because this has a splash. So it's what, 300. Okay, so it's a tiny splash radius. But basically, if you stand next to them when the channel hits, or anyone else around hits, there's a 300 unit ring where all the units take that damage. I think you probably realize that the damage amount isn't based on the channel, only the root is. I'll probably watch a little bit more and find out. But you really got to be more efficient with this, because right now that was a huge waste of your first spell. And probably the first wave now, you guys are losing because of it. Rubik still has plenty of life. You should have really just cast and nuked the Rubik. Once you get both spells, Purifying and the Fortune's End, then you hit him for what, 90 plus 120, 210 damage? That's huge at level 2. Okay, see, that's a shame right there. So you actually got Battle Hungered here, and then you didn't take the free last hit. It looks like Sven left one for you. So you just got cast with Battle Hunger. You got another 4 seconds on Fortune's End. So you can't even purge yourself for another 4 seconds. Sven leaves this one right here. There's a deny, free deny. Sven's not going for it. Instead, you go for like this really weird random hit. You hit this creep for 35 damage, and you miss the free deny right there. And you could have purged off the Battle Hunger naturally. And now, instead, you're going to turn around as soon as Fortune End comes off cooldown and purge yourself. It's good that you immediately cancel the channel and purge, but now you're at what? You're at 240 out of 410 mana. Axe is 210 out of 290, so he's doing way better than you. And again, he's just going to keep winning this trade battle. So hopefully you don't keep that up too long. And Rubik is off doing something else. So you actually saw the Rubik leave. While you were sort of doing this little fight over here, you saw Rubik over on this ward running this way. And the only reason for him to do this is to run in this area is to block your camp. And so he ended up blocking it over here, which is unfortunate because it's outside of the ring here. And I think you end up sentrying up here and miss it. But if Rubik is over in this area, then he's looking for a pull for the hard camp in the lane. If he's over in this area, he's definitely warding. So you really want to have a sentry. Okay, you already have it here. Shift that up into from your clarity. Oh, excuse me. From your backpack into your clarity, take the clarity out of active, and then go knock out that sentry. You need to contest this pull. So right here, he's pulling these creeps out. If you just right-click one of those, looks like you tried, but a little late. Okay, so right idea. Good idea to try and cancel or interrupt the pull, but you missed it. Now you gotta fight the Rubik for it. Let's see. Okay, so I don't know what you just did there. You cast Fortune's End on your Sven. What did that do? Was he Battle Hungered? Even if he was, he would have gotten the last hit in a second. That's weird how... Oh, you canceled the Fade Bolt. Okay. Okay, so Rubik's Fade Bolt reduces his damage by 10%. So Sven is doing 69 damage, plus the Quelling Blade, which is another 15, so he's doing 84 damage. And Rubik hits him with the Fade Bolt for a 10% reduction. I don't think it's worth you dropping 100 of your mana and missing out on 120 damage nuke to give your Sven back another 8 damage points. Sven can last hit these creeps without the 8 damage, and you casting the Fortune's End to purge the Fade Bolt debuff is absolutely not worth it. You need to be, again, spending this mana, nuking the Rubik, dropping him down 120 health, as opposed to giving your Sven 8 more damage. That was a terrible use. You should also be pulling this camp here. So for the last maybe 5-10 seconds, you just sort of danced right here in between this alley of trees, and you're about to miss, let me go to the free camera, you're about to miss this creep wave over here. So if you had spent those 10 seconds running to this point, aggroing that wave, or aggroing that camp, and then walking them out here, you would have had a pull. But now I don't even know if you're going to go for it, but you're going to miss it, even if you do. This sentry spot is unfortunate because you're not going to get it. So with this creep box, do I actually get to see the range? I don't. But basically, the spawn box goes out to like here-ish, and this shrine gives you free vision for like this arc. So you already know that this area is safe, or at least you will if you kind of walk around the area. Sometimes they put it in this clump of trees. But basically, it's a free D ward if you put something over this arc. So basically, there's like this triangle where it's... Actually, I should get on my fucking drawy thing here. So basically, this is the spawn box, roughly. It's a guesstimate. And this is the range... Oops, what the hell? Fuck, I just screwed that up nicely. Knew this whole observer crap. And this is the rough ring where the shrine provides vision. So if you put your ward way over here in this spot, this sentry is providing like a weird ring of vision there. That's obviously not nearly accurate. But basically the whole point of the story is there's this triangle. Man, I did that twice. There's basically this triangle right here where you are not getting any vision. So you've basically wasted this sentry because you let him, sort of avoid detection and dewarding in a third of the box. So if you're going to place it out here, I understand maybe you're trying to get like a free observer ward that he may have placed up here. The problem is on voice comms they already called out that the enemy mid player had one of the observer wards. So I don't think that was as likely. And really, if you're going to try and deward here, you either put it as close to the edge, and I mean like right on the just boundary of that that spawn box, so that it covers a wider arc, and then basically you get a chance like this to be able to deward, or you put it right in the center. And by putting it right in the center, you guarantee that somewhere in this spawn box you're going to get a big arc. Wow, that's messy now. But basically, you'll guarantee you get the deward, and then because it's your own sentry, you can kill it afterwards. Like, there's no need to worry about this sentry blocking your own camp, because once you deward it, again, you're close to the timer, but you can kill it and make sure that it doesn't continue to block. But putting it up here, you really restricted yourself to only this top right arc, and you end up basically losing out on all the value of this camp for a long time, because later on the lane, I think you actually try and stack this, and it doesn't stack, because the creeps don't respawn, and you think you actually screwed up the timing, and so you start pulling from a different direction, which throws things off even worse. So yeah, that's not fantastic. Great creep position right here, but you should be playing more aggressive. You should be watching for Rubik pulling this camp up here, and basically harassing him. So you've got full mana, you've got a clarity going, so you're regaining mana that you can't even use, and you really need to nuke this guy. So you can do 90 plus 120, 210 damage to this Rubik at level 10, which is an awful lot because that's like a third of his life. And so all you have to do is just nuke him, but you're kind of hiding here to protect a clarity that's not giving you any more mana because you're full and you're not nuking him. Okay, purging the battle hunger, not excellent, but it's something. Right-clicking the Rubik is good. The axe, not so much. I understand it's fine if that's your only target, but you want to focus your harass on the Rubik, especially when he's on the left side of the lane. Rubik is playing on the correct side, though, for him, so he's making it harder for you to aggro to him, and that's just unfortunate. Eat another tango. You're really low. Okay. So now you're holding the battle hunger, so I really hope you don't purge yourself, because that would be a race. Okay, that was good. That was excellent. So that was the combo where you nuke Purifying Flames and then instantly cast, shoot the Fortune's End. So I know that you realize that the channel duration has no effect on the damage. I just wish you had done that earlier on the Rubik, but it looks like you sort of comboed this with your Sven talking about the axe. And of course, I assume you're probably talking about trying to harass which hero, but if you do that to the Rubik instead of the axe, it's going to work out a little bit better. So again, he gets another pull here. Okay, so that was a waste. You couldn't even take him down from that much health. So you spent Fortune's End, I guess, to try and nuke the creep wave down. Maybe you thought you'd get a last hit, but I think you missed both last hits with the spell right there. So yeah, this creep wave will kill it sooner, and then it'll go back to the wave. But that was a very inefficient way to use your Fortune's End. I don't think that was good at all. You really want to use your nuke combo on the Rubik, especially while he doesn't have points in his arcane supremacy. He's got 1 point in it now, which is kind of interesting. He probably expected you to nuke him, which is why he has this passive. So now he doesn't have telekinesis for a second. Okay. Okay, some dancing around here. Again, protecting the clarity. Use those nukes. You're about to get to full mana. Okay, you're purging him every time. And what is the damage? Okay, so he's still got it at level 1. You got, yeah, you're really not getting the value out of that when you purge the Sven. Sven is going to get a last hit sometime within like 3 seconds of getting Battle Hunger. Like at no point is Sven going to go like 10 full seconds without getting one of those last hits, or he shouldn't. So you really want to. This is, I think, the pull where you miss it. 56. So it's a little late on the pull, actually. Yeah, so actually you did miss the pull, and you don't realize this. So you actually did screw up the timing, which is interesting. You got to pull that creep camp like a full second and a half earlier. So now you're really not going to find out that it's off. Again, use your combo. Purifying Flames, instantly Fortune's End. 200 damage for free. What's Axe's man health pool look like? 1,000? Okay. Yeah, these right clicks aren't doing anything. You're right clicking the axe and it's tickling him. You're probably doing like 30 damage, and what was his health regen? I think it said 10. So you're basically getting 3 seconds worth of damage on him, which isn't great at all. Okay, so you used Purifying Flames to take a last hit on one of the creeps in the wave, which is okay, but the Sven was right there, so basically that was his farm. He could have had. I don't think he was going to miss it, but maybe he would have. The magic wand, okay. I don't think you needed to complete it into a wand right off the bat, but that's alright. Not a big deal. Urn is a huge mistake. Okay, so this is really bad. So Arcane Boots, I agree with that. Urn of Shadows, which is going to turn to a Spirit Vessel, I'm sure. This is terrible. Who on the enemy team is getting a lot of health regen? That basically counters, what? A Storm Spirit getting a regen rune, and maybe someone eating the cheese after an Aegis. There's no Huskar, there's no Morphling or anything like that, so this is really bad. You know, Spectre's not going to be regaining that much health. The damage is kind of low, and you need more traditional sort of P5 items here. You need a Glimmer Cape, you need a Force Staff. The lack of Force Staffs becomes really problematic later. So this Spirit Vessel, or this Urn turning into a Spirit Vessel, I'm sure is really bad. I think that's a bad itemization. Deny that creep there. There you go. Good. Okay, so Sven is eating his branches for a little bit of regen. Whatever. Again, you really got to throw your nuke combo on the Rubik. You could have harassed the Rubik out a lot harder. Interesting. What is this courier? You got... Wow. Okay, so apparently you sent your courier to attack Axe. That was a micro mistake there. You just lost whatever was on that, plus your items for a couple minutes. So that's a shame. You gotta be really careful with the courier. And you should probably have a hotkey on your mouse if you have like thumb mouse buttons to have the courier come to you. That's what I use one of mine for. So after I buy something, I push the thumb button on my mouse, and the courier starts bringing it to me. But if you had your courier doing something wonky like that, it would have started moving back. That's a shame. So you were out of position there, and you let the axe call both you. You shouldn't have done that. So, all right, here you go. You're battle hungered, whatever. That's fine. Right here, the axe is running up to you. You should never be standing with your carry in the middle of the wave with creeps as the axe is running towards you. Your right click for 47 damage, or 57 if the Rubik didn't Fade Bolt you, is not worth anything. And that 47 click is worth a whole lot less when the axe calls you and spins you twice, because you, the Sven, and 2 lane creeps are all beating on him for his spin chance. So you really can't be in this position. As soon as the axe starts running up, you have to back out. You can't stand there for an extra right click of damage. Because yeah, that call was excellent on his part. He played that really well, and you just got put in a bad position because you try to stand in the middle of the wave. You should be where Rubik is. Rubik is doing an excellent job of playing on the other side of this tree line. You've sort of given up on this tree line area, and now you're playing in the lane with your carry, and you should almost never be playing in the lane behind your carry. Like, it's just the wrong spot for a support. Yeah, like Rubik is here scouting you out, figuring out where you are, and you're doing nothing here. You're not nuking the axe for damage. You're getting a lot of mana. You have great mana regen. Nuke that axe. Like, I don't understand. Why not nuke him? Okay. That was good. A little slow on the Fortune's End shot, but right idea. It's unfortunate that the Rubik is coming back to you. You got to throw your combo and basically run and not try and get right clicks. The Oracle doesn't have anywhere near enough damage to do meaningful right clicks out of lane. Alrighty, got a couple wards. So I wonder if you figured out if your small camp is blocked yet. Okay, didn't pick up any of Sven's items. Did he have any? I don't think so. He's got a courier coming out anyway. Alright, so good D ward. You did get it, and I guess you knew it was on this side. Right here, you need to use your combo. Okay, so that was a big mistake. So you were fighting with the Rubik, which is great. You're de-warding, which is also good. But then your Sven comes over to help. So for whatever reason, Sven decides, I'm not going to lane here for the next couple seconds. I'm going to come help harass this Rubik. This is your chance to get either a really long duration route or to nuke him in preparation for the Sven arriving. But instead, Sven starts running up, and you just keep right-clicking the Rubik for some reason, and you don't actually lock him in place. Like right here, this is the time to start channeling a full duration Fortune's End. Sven is going to stun, I imagine, at the end of that. So you missed a huge opportunity. Are you going to channel it now? Nope. Is he going to stun? Is anyone going to do anything? Sven gets lifted. You both get stunned. You're going to get out of range. Sven doesn't throw his stun. You don't throw your root. So that was a huge misplay all the way around. You guys had an easy kill right there. So Sven doesn't have any better purpose for his God Strength. You know, he's not going to use it against the axe in lane. You had all your mana, you had all your spells. You could have easily even just channeling the full duration Fortune's End without using your nuke. You could use that later to kill steal. But just the full duration stun right here, you would have had, what, 2.5 seconds? So you start channeling back here when Sven's running this way. You start channeling here. Rubik realizes you're channeling, starts running away. Rubik probably gets to here. You hit him with that. He lands over here for 2 seconds. That gives Sven time to come up on him, God Strength, and then stun and kill him himself. Because between your root, Sven's God Strength, the Sven stun, and then maybe you throwing in one more Purifying Flames, that's an easy kill in the Rubik. Instead, you run away with full mana, and Sven basically abandons the lane and uses God Strength to farm creeps. Which is okay, but the Sven could have used his God Strength to farm creeps right after getting the Rubik kill with it. Like, it would have lasted, you know, however long it lasts, 40 seconds. So that was a really big missed opportunity. That was an easy deny you could have had right there. Using your mana to secure those last hits, that's not great. It's not even in tower range, so you don't need to do that. That's a nice freebie of a D-ward. Oh, it could have been. So now, yeah, you're in a weird position where now you're basically hiding scared from the axe when you guys should have killed the Rubik and have been bullying the axe out of lane. Sven is wasting the rest of his God Strength, so now that's gone, and you guys are on the back foot here pretty badly. And you're still trying to right-click the axe. Like, that's really doing nothing. You're basically telling the axe and the Rubik where you are and not doing anything. If you're going to run up and contest him in lane like that, don't even bother right-clicking the axe. Right-click those creeps. So you probably could have denied 2 of those creeps in lane. The way axe is spinning, he can't really control all the damage. Right here, he gets another spin. That's a deny. That's a deny. At least one of those could have been denied. But instead, you got like another 60 damage that he's going to get off, you know, from his regular healing anyway. Okay, so Sven is back. Looks like we took a jungle camp somewhere. That's nice. But you guys are still hiding scared. You're not using the wards here. You basically have no vision in this area. So you've given up both of these jungle camps to Rubik. Rubik has free control over this entire zone. Axe is basically able to run up here, jungle this camp, run down here, cut the wave, run back up here, jungle the other camp freely. Sven is hiding in the background. He didn't get any value, or he got 1 fucking jungle camp's worth of value out of his ult. He's holding a fucking mango tree. We'll talk about that on his review. But basically, you guys are losing hard for no reason. You should not be losing this lane. You guys should be winning easily. The Rubik got a couple early pulls on you, and that's a shame. But you guys basically gave up here, and you could be doing a lot better. But this looks like the end of the laning phase, so I'm going to go ahead and... Alright, you got the D ward. That's important for recovering here. And yeah, laning is probably over for you. Okay, and Axe is of course too big. You guys can't nuke him out. Okay. All right, so I would say that is a lane slightly lost. Not a big loss, but considering the potential you guys had for winning it, I would say it's a big loss in that regard. Sven is still getting okay farm, and he's still in the game, but he should have a kill, and he should be controlling these camps, and really he should have stacked these camps a couple times as well, and Sven should be cleaning stacks like no tomorrow. But unfortunately his farm looks a little stunted. Alright, let's switch to the position 4. We're going to do the Snapfire perspective now. I'm on super speed. Alrighty. Starting items for Snapfire. 2 tangos and a salve, excellent. 2 mangoes, excellent. Clarity, okay, whatever. 1 fairy fire, 1 branch.
I almost feel
okay, you know, a lot of guys feel like they're going to be cool and outplay someone and live on the fairy fire, and if that happens, I'm going to be impressed, but I don't expect it. And the 1 branch, you know, whatever. Just wanted to use up all that gold. Arcane boots, good. I don't know if you guys have discussed who is going Greaves yet. Atos does not feel good as the first major item. So with your arcanes coming up first, you're probably not going to get the Atos until, let me make a prediction here, I'm going to say probably not until the 14-minute mark at the earliest, and I don't think you get it that soon. I imagine you're going to get Atos post 14 minutes, and that's okay. You know, that's not bad. That's not like I'm saying that's going to be a bad timing, but you're not going to get a lot of value out of that. So you're going to get the crowns first, I imagine. That's going to give you some stats and tank up a little bit. You're probably not going to go a bracer here. You're probably not going to go a wand, which is a shame because I think you should. And you're not going to get a force staff early first thing. So really the benefit of that is you're going to try and Atos somebody, probably going to be the Storm Spirit. You're probably going to try and catch him mid-ball lightning. And it's not going to work out well. I don't think you're going to get like value where you're going to Atos somebody and then that's going to give Centaur enough time to run up on them and stun them because he's not going to have a blink dagger. And I don't think you're going to be able to give the Sven enough time to catch up. I just don't see this being a great early value item. I really would have preferred a force staff here. A little bit cheaper. More of a supporty kind of item. Gives you more mobility to save people, initiate, you know, force your Centaur into someone. Although you should be doing that with Cookie and whatnot. So we'll see. Especially since your Oracle isn't going for a traditional, you know, saving support item. You know, the Urn is okay, but it's not going to be great. I wish the Urn was a Glimmer or something else. And with the 2 of you going weird items, you know, not having a force is going to hurt your mid game, I think. All right, so shotgun first. That's fine. You actually get the rune, which is good. You're a little low on health, but that's not terrible at all. So all in all, that was a pretty decent looking rune fight. Yeah. You have no wards here, so you're not going to offensively observe a ward or block this small camp. I think that's a mistake. Marissa's, you know, not new to being a position 5 and is a good support, I've heard. So you really need to block that small camp and force the Lich to deward that and fight for it. Lich only has an observer, so you force her to get a sentry. Oh, excuse me, and you start fighting over that camp to ruin those pulls. Alright, so this is a little bit of a pause here, I remember. What does your lane partner have, actually? Let's see. 1 set of tangos, salve, armor, ring. Okay, I don't mind that. That looks okay. I imagine the ring of armor is going into a soul ring. We'll see. Okay, I'm not really sure what you're doing there. That was a weird dance. You guys were both trying to like share the creep damage and keep him in a good spot. Creep equilibrium here is great. He spotted the Lich there, so he's not doing anything funny to block your hard camp. That's nice, but also you weren't body blocking the hard camp. So right now, Lich is probably running away to, or should be, going for a pull. Instead, Lich is going to fight after nuking a couple times. Okay. You're getting a little low. That's unfortunate. You'll catch up once you get your second level. Be able to sort of damage more. Good use of the tangos early, but you dancing around out here is not great. You need to be closer up. You need to get some occasional shots on the Spectre. Yeah, there's no reason for you to be out here. You're too early for a pull. The creep wave is way far away. You need to get up here and smack that Spectre. Like, what are you doing? Like, so that little bit, you walked over here, you walked back, you walked over here, you walked back. You were probably close to being in range to hit the Spectre, but you didn't. So now you're not doing anything. Like, this is completely wasted time. If you suspect that the Lich is pulling, go contest it. Go interrupt. But right now you're just kind of dancing, waiting for your own pull. You should also eat a tango. You're a little low there. Okay, so you got that. That's good. Back off. Cookie here. Cookie. Okay, so you should have cookied one of those creeps. That was a good double shotgun hit, but if you'd cookied one of those creeps, you would have gotten the stun on the Spectre. But that's alright. Try and get the last hit on one of these. Not a big deal. Start denying. That's good. You missed a deny there for no reason. That's a shame. You hit it twice. Looks like he fairy fired. That's an okay cookie. Okay, so person targeted, not ground targeted, so you only got the Lich and the shotgun blast there. Not a big deal. Last hit that. Okay, so rather than last hitting the Spectre there, you should have tried to last hit the big tomato, and you could have gotten it because Spectre prepped it for you, and if you had clicked the tomato instead of him, you would have stolen that last hit. So that was big. Single shotgun blast on the Lich, not excellent, especially when it's not combo with the Cookie. Cookie right here. There you go. Okay, good. Double stun. That's nice. Ooh, free courier. That's probably an expensive item. Okay, looks like he got it. You missed the cookie, or you missed the shotgun completely, so that's a shame. You got to be careful about that. You shouldn't have missed the shotgun blast, but it was a good courier kill. It looks like he got the item before you actually killed him. What was it? Finishing parts of a Wraith Band. Okay, not a big deal. But the Centaur got the kill on the Lich, which is nice. Another pull here. This is excellent. Fantastic. You have no tangos left. You still got your salve to share with your Centaur, which is good. Okay, what happened there? How did you miss that? I wouldn't even pay attention. I was looking at items. Ooh, you walked too far and you didn't shoot them. Okay, so part of pulling is when the creeps attack you, and the other part of pulling is the aggro also goes the other way if you attack the creeps. So if you had turned around and shot the creeps as they were walking up, your lane would have still aggroed to them. So right here, you can turn and you can either tank the ranged shot from this troll priest thing, or you can also turn and shoot him yourself. And either way, that connects the aggro. But by coming out this way straight and not letting them hit you at all, you miss the entire pull. That's a big mistake. So that ruins that wave and puts it in a terrible spot. So that was big. And the aggro range to the creeps is pretty wide. You don't have to walk all the way into the lane to get them. You should cookie this range creep right here. Cookie him, and that hits both. That was a mistake. That was a wasted opportunity. Okay, you're gonna try the pull again. Don't go so far out. Turn and shoot. Turn and shoot. Okay, that works. Shotgun, double shotgun, right here. Okay, you're missing your chances. So maybe you're waiting for the close range shotgun for the extra damage, but if you get a double, you gotta take it. Okay, so that was a waste. You tried to shotgun and maybe get some of the creeps, but you shotgunned so early that you didn't get any of the last hits. You still got the nuke on the Spectre, but it was only the low damage portion. It wasn't like the close range increased damage, and you didn't get any of the last hits on the creeps, and you didn't get the Lich. So really try and save the shotgun for either double damage, close range, double heroes, or to get the last hits. Alright, you got your boots, that's nice. Lich is going to do a pull, interrupt this, that's really good. You interrupt this pull. Cookie shotgun. Okay, you didn't have the mana for both, that makes sense. So if you don't have the mana for both, that's what, 70 damage versus 150, that's the right choice. 2 points in shotgun, 1 point in cookie. I would have done that the other way, that's just me, but... Alrighty, and you're getting your runes. And since your mana is so low, you might as well go all the way back, but we'll see. Do you have any clarities coming out? Okay, you do have a clarity, that's good. That's better than going back. Probably gonna have to use your salve on this centaur though when he gets back. Centaur have his own? He doesn't. Tell the centaur to just leave that lane, leave that wave, come back, and then eat a claret or a salve. All right, Cookie, one of these 3 creeps. Yes, perfect. You do know how to do that, which is good. All right, fantastic. All right, tell centaur to leave the lane and give him your salve. You should be taking those hits yourself and salving up the centaur. What does he have? He has no regen left. So really, he should have been salving up that 400 health. That gets him to 930, and basically by the time Lich comes back, he's at full 1200. But you saving your salve for some reason, I don't know why, it's a good stack, but that really hurts him in this next fight. You use the salve yourself. That's interesting. Okay. You shouldn't be tanking a whole lot of damage here, so that's not great. Now your centaur is basically playing at a 1/3 health when he should have 100%. Your centaur. Okay, you got to go up through the trees a little bit because you missed that. Yeah. So with that angle there, if you're a little bit late like that, go up diagonally. Oh, excuse me. Healthy sneeze. So yeah, you can pull straight out if the creeps are going to end up right about here. But if you're going to miss it, you can either run up here and tank the shot from the creeps or shoot back at them from the gap here in these trees, or you can also run up here to this path up here on the top of the forest. And you can actually aggro the creeps way up here at the top of this this little alleyway thing here. You don't have to just run straight out horizontally. Try not to get used to just running straight horizontally. And actually like check on the creep wave or look at your minimap to see how far they're going to be. It's good that you got the range creep, but you should have definitely had the full wave there. Oh wow, you didn't even get the range creep. Okay, that's part of, you know, nighttime vision, kind of screwing you over there. That was an interesting block. So you didn't put a sentry down first, so you actually were spotted, and I imagine the Lich is going to very quickly deward that. You didn't go for this creep wave pull now. For some reason you were hanging out in this area. That's another mistake. You should have pulled this creep wave back and then gotten that camp, you know, with the tomatoes back over. Alright, so yeah, you see the courier, you want to go for it, but the thing is there's an observer looking at you, so yeah, you're wasting your time. He just moved his courier up here into the forest because you're playing in enemy vision and you don't even know it. Okay, so I remember you talking about this in the game. You're pulling these creeps around, and I don't really understand why, and I think it surprises your centaur as well. So it's not terrible if you have to reset and you pull through, but the thing is your creeps weren't in a terrible position. So you could have just pulled the tomato camp out and reset it better, because now you're gonna, you know, tell the centaur, oh, I've got these creeps here, and now you have to walk this circle and tank like another 50 damage while the centaur comes back. And now the centaur starts farming them, which makes no sense. Like, centaur shouldn't even be hitting the damn things. You should be letting the creeps meet so that it doesn't push as far. But that's his mistake. All right, good jump and shotgun. Got the double damage, and you run away with the ice shield. That's perfect. That was perfect right there. I would definitely throw one of those sentries down. So this is a shame. You bought 2 sentries. You're running around with them. There are 2 enemy wards here. There's one in this lane right here, so you can see the tiniest bit of that on the minimap. And there's one over here right next to yours. You know they have vision of you because you just failed trying to go get a courier. There's no reason for you to have ran up into this lane and then not seen that courier come back, because you saw the courier run up. It went to, you know, give Spectre whatever his item was. You should have easily gotten the courier snipe here. Because you didn't, you know you were spotted, and now you need to use these sentry wards to try and find that observer, because the longer you hold these, you're just wasting time. You're giving Rubik free vision. He gets to watch you every time you approach the sentry camp, and you're getting no value out of the, what, 150 gold you spent on these sentry wards. So that's a pretty big inefficiency. You know you're spotted. Okay, so that's good. You got this one. And that's weird. I don't know how you knew that one was here, but you didn't try and deward the one over here that actually saw you go for the courier, because the ward over here couldn't have spotted you going for the courier snipe. So that's actually really interesting. I don't know how you knew to sentry there. I really want to see you drop the other one right here. Anywhere in this area would be fine. Yeah, see, they know something's going on. They dove away. They're hiding in the tower. This is okay for you to posture here. You diving into the trees is a mistake. So there's no reason. Yeah, blind shotgun blast. You missed it. You didn't do any damage. You wasted your mana, and now you're out of position in a weird spot. You threw a bad cookie to your centaur. You threw a really late sentry for no reason. Like, okay, so in the middle of the fight is not the time to deward. You sat here for like a good 30 seconds while nothing was happening. Centaur was pressuring the tower. Someone was hiding over here. Someone was farming over here. That's the time to throw the sentry down. You throwing this sentry in the middle of a fight is worse because you're probably baiting either your centaur or yourself to stop and try and hit a ward if you find one, rather than run away and save your lives. So you definitely want to use it earlier or not even at all because you don't have time to deward. By dropping that sentry, it's not like there's an invisible hero that the centaur is going to be able to stomp and then turn around and kill. Like, neither of these guys is going invisible. Lich and Spectre don't have that ability. So, you know, centaur sees everything that's going to happen in this fight right here, and there's no reason for you to try and deward in the middle of that. So that was a really weird play. You running this direction is also unfortunate because you're basically baiting, asking one of the enemy teammates to TP to the shrine right here, and then you're going to get killed. You had a perfectly good chance to run straight south, so I have no idea why you didn't do that. You know, you saw that the fight was going bad here. You got into a weird position behind the trees in the jungle. You blindly shotgun blast nothing and killed a bunch of air, and then you ran back out this way. You ran through this gap in the trees over here, and then instead of running straight down where you could run for home because you have like no health, you decided to run deeper into your map. So now Centaur is going to be baited into trying to help you. He's going to chase in deeper. Anyone, if they want to, can cut you off by TPing to this shrine right here, and they're going to finish their TP before you can walk all the way around, up these stairs and around. So whatever you're doing here is just a complete waste. If you're telling Centaur that you're dead and to just leave you, then that's okay, but I don't think that's the way this works. And I'm pretty sure Centaur dies here because of basically your play. Okay, so now you're doing a cutesy loop, which isn't going to work because people are chasing you. Centaur is still playing around. You eat your fairy fire, which is a nice idea. Okay, so that was a huge mistake right there. So you ran all the way down here. You didn't start your TP until after Spectre Haunted. If you had started the TP like right as soon as you started running away, after you got the mobility boost from the Centaur, that would have been okay, because you wasted his ult basically to try and save you. And you threw that opportunity away. You could have ran away. Let's see, where were you? You're up here. This is happening, whatever. You're doing a silly loop. Centaur ults to get you out. Stomps probably here at some point. So at this point right here, you're on the other side of a tree. You have ran away. It's nighttime, so you checked with your sentry here to see if there's no vision. There's no vision here. The nighttime range is really short. The closest person is way the fuck up here. So Centaur just ulted. Feared, I don't know why. That's a replay glitch. Basically, Centaur's getting away, you're running, you get the movement speed bonus from the Centaur ult, which only lasts a couple seconds. So once you've basically ran all the way from here down to here, your move speed advantage is gone. Stop right behind this tree and start your teleport. Okay, I see you don't have the mana for it now. You're going to have it in 3 seconds. So as soon as you get the mana for this, you need to stop and use it. But the problem is you still try and use it after the Spectre Haunt. And so Spectre's going to kill you. So let's see, 374. Oh, wow. So you really didn't have that. Right there, you should stop. So you keep running a little bit. I guess you wanted to hide behind this tree, which is not the worst plan in the world if these guys were coming. But once the Spectre Haunt comes in, you need to not use your teleport, because Spectre haunted, and then you started channeling your teleport knowing you're already dead. So there's no way that Spectre doesn't just catch you in that long channel duration and hit you twice. Like that's a pretty easy kill for the Spectre. The Spectre is the best player on their team. You guys know that. Like, he's going to kill you. So what you've done is you basically just put your teleport scroll on cooldown for 80 seconds, over a minute, but you're going to come back to life in 15 seconds. And so basically you're then going to have to walk all the way back to lane. And this whole time, your Centaur has been trying to provide top cover for you, and then he dies because of this. So that, all in all, was a really weird play. There's a lot of really weird dancing, a lot of weird directions you ran, and that didn't work out well. So you bought a piece of the crown before doing Arcane Boots. So you've given up on Arcane Boots, and now you're starting to buy part of an Atos. But you barely have enough mana to run what you have, and Centaur would have really appreciated the mana, considering how fucking small his mana pool is. So I think that's a mistake. If you panic bought that in a quick buy to save some of your unreliable gold, then that's not as bad. But progression-wise, that looks pretty terrible to me. You have this one random branch doing a whole lot of nothing. Clarities. You don't have any more mangoes. Really, you need mangoes instead of those clarities. Alright, so now you look at the Lich. You have your camera in the wrong position, so you don't even see that you ran past the Spectre. It's a shame. Alright, good combo there. A little bit of overlap on the Centaur stuff, and that's not your fault. And good damage. But again, you've got no health now. You've lost 2/3 of your health. You didn't buy any more regen. Centaur didn't buy any more regen, so I guess you guys, just kind of gave up on regenning. No salves or anything. No mangoes for passive regen, so you're pretty much bullied out of lane here. More wards, that's good. You bought the book for the level 6, which is probably correct. Oh, Oracle already has level 6, that's good. So that's a lot of basically XP leeching from the P5, but it works out, so now you both have your ults. And looks like now you're going to go get the... oh, is this the solo kill in the Spectre? This is a funny one, yeah. That's good. This is an excellent kill right here. In fact, I didn't even realize that was a blind shotgun. You throw a lot of blind shotguns, but that one actually worked out. The other two didn't. And then you block some of the camps. So that's fantastic. And it looks like we're at the end of laning. So we'll go ahead and move on to the position 3. But that was a good move, chasing the Spectre into the jungle. And we talked about that in the strat channel about trying to block their camps. Alright, perspective on the Centaur. Negative a minute. It's always short. Alright, so Centaur's coming to lane with one set of tangos, one salve, mango, branch. Not going soul ring, which is okay, that's good. So it's just like a value ring of protection. That's not the worst. 2 to 4 mana, or 2 to 4 armor. I don't mind that at all. I was worried it was going to be a soul ring initially, but that worked out nicely. Bracer, stick, phase boots. The hell's the ring of health for? Okay, so the phase boots looks right. The bracer's fine. The stick is excellent. The boots also good. Those are the correct boots, phase boots. So all that looks good. I'm thinking you're going to need another salve in there somewhere. Okay. Try to get a double stun. Oh, you don't have stun, you have retaliate. Okay. Okay. So that's not the worst. And of course that's better for the laning phase, so if you take stun, it sort of stuns things there. And that wasn't a bad rune fight, so all in all worked out really well. Okay, there's an interesting delineation of duties. I wonder if you're talking with the Snapfire in comms on basically double hitting a creep to last hit it or denied. I don't think you are. I don't remember that. But basically, what I would recommend you guys try for next week or practicing games is calling creeps, and then both of you hit it at about the same time, so that one of you gets the deny or one of you gets the last hit. And it's really for situations where, if you both don't do it together, neither one of you is going to get it. And I think this is one of those moments right here in the beginning, the first wave. Alright, so he's harassing. You're playing behind the wave, that's fine. Both kind of get a weird pull. Alright, right here, so you're going for the last hit, you get it, and he didn't get the deny. Okay, so maybe you guys both prepped for the last hit, and that's fine. But really, you should have gone for the last hit, and Snap should have gone for the deny. That was a Snapfire thing, unless you were calling for him to help prep that creep for you. Alright, this is that damn pause everyone does. Alright, you are looking mid for some reason. Alright, chasing the range creeps back, that's fine. Good hit to keep pulling them. And yeah, this is just the dance to keep. Okay, so that was okay. was the right idea. So you guys took the creeps, you dragged them back. The only thing is, why did you stop up here? So unless I'm mistaken, the tower aggro range is like way down here. So like the tower shoots out to probably like this weird stupid looking mustache on the Tinker face. So this is this weird Tinker face looking thing on the ground. The mustache is here. Like the tower is probably shooting out to about that line. So I'm estimating it's like here-ish. There's no reason for you guys to stop and dance with the creeps way over here, because you guys like cut your creep a lot shorter. You guys could have cut it way back here. And, all you have to do to see the where the position is of the tower range is to hold your Alt key. So it doesn't work in my spectator view. Oh, there it is. So I have to actually be in-game moving. But basically, this red ring here is where you could have brought back. You guys kind of dance with the creeps up here. You should have brought them right back to the edge. There's no reason to miss that, because now you're fighting with the creeps just a little bit further than you want to, and any little bit of dancing range that the Lich has in between these tree lines is worse for you. You really want the creeps as close to your tower in open space so that you can see whatever the Lich is doing. The support that you have that has probably better mobility and better harass from range can see what he's doing and sort of react accordingly. Alright, so again, Spectre pulls the creeps back. You guys got to secure this range creep. That was a miss. You tried to last hit that way too early. You missed the deny. Hit this one. Okay, you got that. You need to deny or secure this. Okay, good secure. Got the range creep. Snapfire needs to... Okay, Snapfire needs to move up and harass. I think I talked about that earlier. That was silly. You kind of wasted your time standing there, but that's fine. There's nothing else you could do. If you were a range here, I would have been unhappy for you sitting there doing that. Alright, hit that one. Good. Try and prep. Or secure. Okay. Either way. That's early. You gave him a free last hit there. Okay. Easy. Good. Here's your stun. There we go. Early. Yep. You're giving him free last hits here. So you're trying to last hit a little too early. I don't know if maybe you're used to Underlord having more right-click damage or something, but you're earlier in last hits, and that one was late. You could have easily had that one. Probably pop your stick charges here. Did you eat a mango instead of? Yeah, that was a mistake. Okay, so you just ate your mango, which makes no sense because you didn't need the extra mana. You have enough mana for stun right here. Yeah. You ate your mango, gave yourself full mana instead of using your stick. Okay, now you move your stick into the mango spot. So I think you screwed up your inventory, wasted your mango for no reason, and now you have stick charges that are unused, and you're using a salve instead. So that was kind of a fuck up. Not a big deal, but that's 70 gold wasted for no reason. You need to stay up there. Don't walk away from these creeps. You're going to miss these. There, you got one. You missed the other. That denies early, so you gave that up for free. Good stun. Good stun. That was perfect. You guys chained that one well. Good kill. Miss shotgun blast. We talked about that. And eat your last tango. Eat your last tango, and I would consider even popping the stick, but maybe not. It's a little early. Prep this deny. There you go. Good. Last hit. Okay. Range creep, not the melee. There you go. Now back for the melee. Good. Deny. Oh, early. That one was really close, though. I probably would have missed that just the same as you. Snapfire has missing opportunities to pull. We talked about that a second ago. Okay, so you're trying to draw the aggro back onto your creep, so that's good. But Spectre's doing a little better job at it than you are. So let this frost wear down that creep and then hit it. Okay, he used his spell to nuke it. But that was a good idea, letting the ice shield basically wound that creep enough that you can sort of hit it yourself. You need more regen. I don't think you buy any more regen for the rest of the game, and you're already out. You're half health. You need to have another salve, sort of as an emergency measure, and maybe even more tangos. I would really get another set of tangos and a salve here. I don't think anyone on this team is buying enough regen except maybe the mid laner. Everybody else just really doesn't like you guys have gotten better at buying the starting regen. You guys are getting 2 sets of tangos now instead of 1, so now it's 6 tangos and 1 salve. But you really can't just use the tangos at the beginning of the game and forget about them. Oh, you did get another set of tangos. Okay, fantastic. I didn't see that on the Snapfire review. I guess you must just eat them so quickly that they're gone before I check in next. But that's fantastic. I take back what I said. You played that exactly correctly. Well, other than a salve, you need a salve in your back pocket. Okay, phase boots into a early pipe. I don't like that. The phase boots is excellent. The pipe is going to be excellent, but you need your blink dagger early. And I don't mind you queuing up like pieces of this, so if you're about to die, you can use up some unreliable gold. But you really need to get your blink dagger right off the bat. Your stun range is ridiculously small. Like look at that, 315. That's the tiniest fucking radius, and you end up missing a lot of stuns. So basically, in the mid game, your blink dagger would have given you the ability to stun probably like 3 or 4 more times at the least, and your pipe probably doesn't give you an awful lot of good cookie. That's unfortunate. It's only a single stun, but it works out. And your pipe isn't blocking that much magical damage as much. And I think the team would have gotten more value out of you stunning and holding someone in place than preventing the Lich and Storm magical damage in the early mid-game ganks that you guys win on. Because I think all of your early gank attempts, kind of fall flat. So you should really have a, the phase boots items here is perfect, and then the next item should be Blink Dagger, and then after that should be the pipe component. So if you have to spam your quick buy key, you still buy, these little shitty rings, but you really are working towards your Blink Dagger for the most part. Your last hits are good, top of the board, which is weird. That's just a testament to you playing better than everyone else in their roles. Your net worth on offlaners is good, and is typically pretty strong as far as your lasting goes. That was early on that last hit. I don't think you needed to double edge to secure that one. That was probably unnecessary, but okay. Yeah, you've been playing this whole lane with half health, so the reason why I want you to get a salve is for moments like this, where if you get nuked down one more time, you drop to like 400, you're basically bullied out of the lane and you don't want to fight against the Spectre. Which is silly because Spectre's a weak laner, and as a centaur you should be crushing her. I think you're ahead by levels and experience a little bit, but when you keep playing around in this 400 to 600 HP range, you really can't be as aggressive as you want and go for every last hit and every deny that you want. So I would really get a little bit more regen, just so that when you do get nuked down, you can just come right back up. Because another 400 health, you get up to what, 930? You're still not at risk of like overusing your regen, and this ring of health is like healing health that you don't have because you're at 100%. You haven't been at 100% this entire lane, so you're really missing out on a big opportunity here to heal more and get more out of it. Also have one of your health rings in your inventory doing nothing, so that's a shame. Because, okay, so you have started buying the components for your pipe before the phase boots. And maybe that's because you feel like you're getting harassed, because again, you aren't buying any more regen, or you're not buying enough salves, and maybe you figure the extra set of tangos was enough, and you're in the mid game now, but you're really not. But getting these things like the recipe and these, like, you now have 2 extra rings of regen that aren't going to do anything for a minute. That's a huge mistake instead of getting your boots. At the very least, even if you don't complete the phase boots and you hold off on chainmail and blade of attack, that's okay. But you really need the basic boots. You are not fast enough to get the 2 hero stuns that you really want without the boots. So the Snapfire is going to cookie you. Hopefully you guys coordinate the cookies, but I remember you don't. You miss like all of them in the early game. When he cookies you as opposed to one of the creeps, and you don't have the ability to sort of double stun them because this is such a small radius. So getting the boots, especially if you get the boots before the enemy team does. See, Spectre has boots already. Lich is probably going to buy boots next, or at least the phase or the windlace. So you're going to be slower than both of them. So you're really about to fall behind in speed in the hopes that you can just tank up. And I don't think that's going to work, because you can't just tank up and sit there, because your job isn't to sit here and get the farm as a carry. You're still playing your offlaner a little bit like a carry. Your job is to deny the enemy carry's farm. It has nothing to do with how much farm you get. You get your farm incidentally because of how much you bully out the enemy carry. But if you let the Spectres stay in the lane and contest evenly with you, you have sort of failed your job as an offlaner, because success as an offlaner is beating down the carry to the point where they can't do well for their team. So enough on that. Long story short, buy fucking boots first before a pipe or a hood. Looks like you're going past a hood, which is crazy. That was a waste of your ult. Like, the Lich was far away, he wasn't going to freeze you. The Spectre was going to get maybe 2 more hits on you. You traded your ult for 2 Spectre right clicks. That was a huge mistake, I think. And again, get a salve. If you had a salve in your inventory, this 500 goes up to 900, and once again you feel good enough to play in the lane. But you're hiding back and you're playing way behind, which is a shame. Alright, so Snapfire does that weird pull through, and right here you should not be right clicking these creeps. So I mentioned this on the Snapfire perspective replay. So Snapfire did the weird pull through and sort of, held the creeps here, which is good. The tower aggro range is here, so we sort of dance with the creeps in this area. That's nice. You now have absolutely perfect equilibrium here. Your creeps are running up, their creeps are running up. It's 4, they have 4, you have 4. It's perfect. Except you start smacking these creeps. Like, they're naturally going to hurt themselves because they hit you, and the retaliate passive damage just, bleeds them down a little bit. You need to immediately run down. Once these creeps start to get close, run away from them, run past this sort of Tinker Eye, let the creeps aggro back onto your creeps, and then start waiting for last hits. There is no reason at all for you to start right-clicking any of these creeps and do any damage at all. You want all 4 of these creeps to be 100% health. You want all 4 of your creeps to be 100% health, which they are, and you can't control that. So that way the equilibrium stays exactly right here on this line. But the way that you're starting to damage these creeps means this wave is going to die just a little bit quicker than your wave dies, and then your creeps are going to start their fucking march all the way back up here to get away from you, and you lose creep equilibrium. So I don't know why you're attacking these creeps or clicking on them, but that is a huge mistake. It makes no sense at all to me. You're not getting anything out of it. They're not contested at all. Spectre's off doing something. You even have a ward that conveniently sees Spectre trying to jungle. So you should take this opportunity to free farm and outscale the enemy core. Yeah, huge mistake. You just totally nuked this wave down for no reason when you didn't have to. And so now, instead of these creeps meeting down here somewhere, they're meeting way up here. You're still standing behind the wave, and your retaliate is passively doing too much damage. You need to let these guys aggro back. Yeah, so out of that, you had your wave come up, and your wave of creeps is basically at probably 80% health, and they've killed off 2 enemy waves. Not only did they kill off the wave that Snapfire brought down for you, but then another fresh wave came down, and this wave killed off all of them. So unless you're planning on diving and trying to sort of double wave this tower in the next couple seconds, which isn't going to work because Snapfire's not going to pull this wave off. There's another wave right here, and for you to double wave, Snapfire would have to be up here and pull this wave down into like the hard camp or something. But that's not going to happen because you guys haven't worked that out. That's like an advanced mechanic. So basically, this creep wave is going to march into this tower. It's going to meet this other creep wave over here. You guys are going to get hit by the tower a little bit. You're going to try and probably last hit deny under the enemy tower, and then another creep wave is going to come up right behind, and the equilibrium is going to end somewhere in this area. So this is a huge efficiency mistake. Alright. So yeah, you're not even trying to deny. You just missed. You walked here in a circle for some reason. You know that there's an enemy within XP range, and you just let the tower kill 2 of your own creeps, and you did nothing. You like walked a silly little loop right here. Those were 2 free denies you could have had, and you could have stunted the Lich's experience, because the Lich is getting experience out of all of the Radiant creeps that are going into the tower. So basically, Lich is here. You're walking around. Tower hits this creep. Deny that. Right there. You should be denying that creep right now. So you doing this little, I'm walking left, I'm walking right, that makes absolutely no sense at all. Like, this achieves no purpose. You're basically amusing yourself by just walking in a circle and seeing, like, literally, you just gave yourself movement orders to walk in a loop 3 fucking times now. Like, what the hell is going on? That's another easy deny that you could have missed, and this is going to be the 3rd deny you just walk right past and you missed. So you gave the Lich 3 creeps of free experience because you basically told yourself to walk in a circle 3 times. And like, you haven't done that in the past 3 weeks, so I don't know why you suddenly did that, but that was a really weird, like, play. Like, I feel like you know how to, like, I feel like you know the way experience works better than that. So that just confuses me all the way around. Okay, gonna go for a double edge to get a couple of last hits. That's okay. Missed that one a little early, and missed that one also really early. So that was actually probably your single worst wave in the 6 games you played in 3 weeks in the league. And that's not to beat you down or anything. I'm not like, oh, you suck at last hitting or anything. I'm just saying I don't understand why, but like, that little 1 minute there was the worst you have laned mechanically. And you do better than that. So I don't know if maybe it's just Centaur, you're not used to the mechanics of that, the creep attack animation or something being different than Underlord. But like, if you were playing Underlord last week, I don't think you would have missed all those. I think you would have denied them, you would have gotten your last hits, and you would have played better. So something was going on there. Maybe you guys were talking over voice. I might have to go over the comms recording. But something weird happened right there, and I don't know what. Alright, so yep, you miscoordinate that. Both of you miss your stun. So instead of a double stun, you get a 0 stun. Snapfire runs the wrong way and suicides here. And at this point, you should leave the Snapfire to her death, because Snapfire sort of screwed this up. Okay, you do decide to eventually ult, which is a little on the later side. Everyone's here, and this ends up in a disaster. Yeah. Probably not a lot you could have done there. You do have boots now, which is nice, but it looks like you have basically completed pipe before getting your boots, and your boots are in your backpack. So I really hope that as soon as you respawn, you shift these boots into your active inventory. Okay, good. You do. Take out the Quelling Blade. You sold the Quelling Blade completely. I don't know if I agree with that, but okay. And we're at the 10-minute mark, and I think laning is over. Yeah, that was good harass. Excellent harass. I think later Snapfire hunts down the Spectre and you go back to farming. Alright, so I'm going to say laning is over, and we're going to move on to the position 2 Clinks. Alright. Alright, so Clinks is starting with what looks like the start of 2 Wraith Bands, a Fairy Fire, Tangos. For some reason, you really like keeping Tangos in your inventory where they don't work, and then having weird items out. At least you don't. At least the Fairy Fire is active this week. Last 2 weeks, I think you had your Fairy Fire in the inactive inventory. Okay, you move it up. You got your early ward out. That's good. I do like this ward. Sees across the river, so you can attack uphill. Sees the rune. As far as I'm concerned, that's a perfect observer ward. A little close, so that it has a risk of being dewarded from a center sentry, but that's fine. So this is interesting. You actually took this rune. I didn't remember who took it, and I remember Snapfire comes down and checks. So the only thing I would say is, once you take this rune, which you're about to, I would communicate that to your team, because Snapfire wastes her time checking. And so this is what happened. You take the rune, Snapfire's up here, they get that rune, and then for some reason, Snapfire comes all the way down here and checks this rune. Like, Snapfire shouldn't have to do that. And the fact that Snapfire ran down here, got confused, and pinged that rune means there was something going on. Either the Snapfire wasn't paying attention, or you didn't communicate that you were taking that rune. And it's not a big deal, but this is wasted efficiency. Snapfire shouldn't be down here. This is a bad place on the map, because you know, there's so much stuff happening up in the lane way up here. Snapfire wants to be close enough so he can see where the enemy Lich is going to drop their wards. And so Snapfire being way over here on this plateau is just a lack of vision. And so really he wants to be somewhere around this area, or somewhere just anywhere around this art tower with these top of the stairs. So because he's not, if for some reason the Lich did decide to drop an observer ward right here, you guys would miss it. So just try and communicate if you're going to take those runes. That's partially Snapfire's fault for not knowing and looking at his minimap, and that may be your fault for not telling him that, you know, I got the back room. Alright, that was a long way to say that. Let's go back to the clinks. Let's watch your block real quick. Okay. Looking good. Little zigzag, looking good. Zigzag, zigzag, that's good. That's good. Okay, one creep goes around. That's unfortunate. So if that creep hadn't decided to go around the tower, that would have been a perfect block. And unfortunately, that other creep decided to take a detour because you blocked so hard that it went around the tower. So that's a shame. But otherwise, that was really well done. That's a deny you can get, or you can try for. You didn't. That's also a deny you can try for. You went for the harass instead, which, you know, isn't terrible, but it's a thing. You're going to miss this. I'd be very surprised if you got that, especially considering the arrow's not flying right now. You're too late with the animation, so that deny's not happening. Alright, this long-ass fucking pause. Alright. Oh, I am wrong. You got the deny. That's crazy. Alright, well that's why you're a mid player and I'm not. I didn't think you were going to get that. I was so sure it wasn't happening. Forget what I said. I can't play mid. Alright, good fire arrow harass. You got the salve ready. It's good. Prep that deny. Okay, you got it because of the overload. You should have gotten that last hit. That was an easy one. Okay, that was a shame. Okay, should have had that one. Okay, you did have that one. So at the end of 2 waves, Storm is 4-1 and you're 3-1. That's okay, so you have caught up a little bit. Earth Race Band is on its way. Nope, you bought it and you're not even sending it out. That's weird. Okay, deny that. Easy deny there. Okay, the deny there would have been worth more than the hit on him, but alright. Lots of good harass, but get that free deny. There you go. Good flare arrow there. That one was a good one because nothing else happening. Last hit deny. Okay, see, you waited too long to last hit that and you didn't get the deny. That was a good last hit on the tower though. That was a very limited margin. You should have walked back up the hill right there, so that was a really small thing, but I would have walked back uphill for that one. Okay, see, this wave ends, whatever. All right, right here, this one, you want to go for this creep. So you can tell that this is the next last hit that's happening. So this creep is going to get hit by all fucking 5 of these guys, and you're basically going to stand right here to hit this. You end up walking into the river, and you're too close, so you basically are asking for Storm Spirit to smack you and get a free hit on you right here. So right here, you can stand up here and then prep your last hit, but you stop way down here in the river and you're out of position. And it's okay because you're going to get this last hit, but you could have easily taken this last hit from this distance right here and done the same thing. Because the distance from here to here is the same as the distance from here to here. You know, you're shooting downhill, so you don't need to be high up enough to avoid mischance, but Storm Spirit's about to smack you with a free right click. And so basically you took that overload charge and right click for no reason. And it actually looks like it might work out because you should deny this range creep behind. I don't know why you're not denying this. Okay, you didn't go for the last hit and you didn't go for the deny, so that's weird. Okay, that was a shame. You really should deny this range creep in the back. Okay, you went for harass instead of the last hit again. You're really prioritizing the harass on the storm instead of the denies, which okay, that was weird. That was a complete freebie. There's no excuse for that one. So this happens, blah blah blah. This one right here. Storm is running away, nothing's happening. You run back uphill and you completely let the creep go. Like, what is going on right here? This is the freest last hit I've ever seen in my life. That should have been a throwaway. Maybe you're doing something with your inventory that threw you off right there, but that was a weird missed last hit. Okay, so you miss all those. And Storm is now clearly outplaying you. You know, you do have better harass on him, but let's see. He's now 11 last hits to your 8. So 11 to 8 is a pretty big deal. Let's see what the experience is, though. Okay, you're actually holding even on that. And net worth, he's got only the tiniest lead on you. I still think he's outplaying you, though, with the last hits, though, because you should really be able to throw those fire arrows, harass him, and not miss these freebies. It's really good that you're getting those long-range arrows. Level 2 in Searing, that's good. But you shouldn't give up all of these hits. Like right there, that deny. Big deny that you're giving up on. You could have denied probably 8 more creeps so far, and then Storm would be a full level behind you. But instead, basically, all of the harassment that you've done for the last 3 minutes, Storm canceled with a salve. Storm basically just ran up a salve, got it off his courier, and he spent 110 gold for all of the denies and all of the last hits that you missed for 3 minutes. So you traded probably 8 denies and probably 4 last hits. And of course, I'm guessing because it's not nearly that high, but I may be exaggerating a bit. But there's a lot that you traded for 110 gold, and you would have gotten that back in the creeps that you hit, and it would have been worth it to keep Storm a full level behind you, because his experience shouldn't be as high as yours. He's probably also going to get a bottle pretty quickly, so yeah, he's 200 gold from a bottle, so at that point your harass is not going to matter. Okay, that was an easy one, you should have had that. This one? Nope. Okay. Okay, good. Needed the mana for that. Oh, that was an easy one. Okay, this range creep right here. So this is the second time where Storm has overload hit you from long range. You brought the overload hit back, and you end up having a range creep way back here that is low health. So this range creep, when it's this low, is easily deniable. And so when Storm dances way back here to his tower and he has this short attack range, you easily have the chance to get 2 hits on this range creep and deny it before he can come up and finish that off. And it probably actually takes 3. What's your damage? 56? Okay, no, so you can get it in 2. No, because you can't use the Searing. Okay, so it is 3. But that's probably still okay, but I don't know why you're not going for these denies. I would probably be trying to drop this low to bait the Storm to come in and try and, you know, overload proc to get that last one, or risk losing a range creep. But this is the second time where you've let him sort of, you know, nuke this low, and then it'll eventually push up in the lane later. Okay, that was a good one. You didn't need to use a fire arrow to finish that last hit, but that's a fire arrow, good. And then, okay, harass, those are good harasses, and then really deny that. Okay, not going for it. Good, you know, good sustain so far. He hasn't gotten a lot of good damage on you, and so you've got a salve and a tango sitting there unused. You're not going to get these wards out in time. It's 4 minutes. The rune is already somewhere, and you're not gonna get it in time. You can deny that. Okay, good. But you need to have the sentry out to figure out where his rune or his ward is that he's using to spot these. Okay. That would have been a hard one to contest, so that's fine. Deny right here. Deny in the back. Okay, good. Missed. You need to Searing arrows that one. Yeah, he is way ahead of you in this game now. So you're trading a lot of harass for these missed hits, and it's just a shame. Alright, so you bring this one back, easy. It's a freebie. This one's a freebie. Okay, and this one's a freebie. Searing arrow, okay. I would have done lower, but that's fine. Alright, so after all these waves, he is at 29 and you're at 22. That's a big difference. 23.6 to 18.4, and really your numbers should be much higher than that. But you've been prioritizing the harassment, but at the end of the day, Storm Spirit has more health than you. He's got a bottle. He's going to start regenning. 5 minutes, even if you are able to continue to watch the mid-river runes and he doesn't get the 6-minute runes, he's definitely going to get the 5-minute rune back here behind him. And unless you're proactive or your supports are proactive, he may rotate past and steal this rune. If you don't have bottom lane runes, he may get 2 or 3 runes over on this side. So your chance to sort of harass the Storm Spirit and kill him early was a narrow window that would have required a gank, or some really weird misplay by the Storm, and it obviously didn't happen. And so you spending all of your mana and so much of your time in lane trying to harass the Storm, I think has failed completely. I think you haven't done anything to slow down his experience. He's gotten way more denied, or way more last hits than he should have. That was an easy one. You should have had that. Turn around and get this deny here. Nope, deny that. Okay, so you just put 2 hits into a last hit, or into an enemy creep that you couldn't even get early, and gave up on the deny. You could have denied your own creep and then turn around and still gotten the last hit, or contested the last hit, with your second arrow. So that was weird. Okay. That one's going to be tough to get afterwards. Okay. I think you missed that one. Didn't see the exclamation. Okay, that's good. Perfect spot for the sentry in case it's close. But now, obviously, it's the 5-minute mark. Storm is going for this battle rune over here. So this wave is pushed up over here. Storm is almost definitely nuking the small camp, refilling his bottle here, filling up all of his health, and then hopefully taking the river rune here to then gank bot. So this is your opportunity to push and do something and drop this observer ward offensively. Alright, good way to eat that. Oh, he comes back. That's interesting. Plot twist. He's going to defend you. You still need to drop this observer ward offensively. You holding it here is a waste because you got 20 seconds to prep it so that you see where the next river rune is going to be, and you get it first before Storm zips for it. Yeah, you holding this is a waste. And you still have another Tango. This entire time, you have full health, and you have... Okay, that's not a bad spot. And you've taken basically no damage because you've still got this Tango here. Did he kill you or something? Like, what? What is going on? You did not die. Like, I don't think you bought another salve earlier. You gotta regenerate, that's a shame. And, like, I don't know why you still have all this regen. Like, you're not tanking nearly enough damage to sort of contest for these last hits. And again, it's not like you should be taking damage. Like, I don't want you to get hit and lose your health. But the fact that you have so much of it means you're basically not playing as aggressively as you could. And you're probably going to leave the laning stage with this salve in your inventory still, which is weird. You shouldn't leave the laning stage and start roaming and ganking with your salve. That was a freebie. You shouldn't have prepped that early. That was a good one. Right now? Okay, you didn't need to fire. I don't think you need to fire for that. And you definitely should have had that one. That was a freebie. You're missing a lot of uncontested creeps. Okay, right there. That was... Yeah, that's unfortunate. So, because you have this back rune here, you can't see across the river anymore, like that excellent rune, or excellent board you had here. So you missed 2 last hits that were good contests by the Storm. And I'm not saying you would have gotten both, but Storm is clearly doing better than he should. Yeah, I don't think your familiarity with the Klink's attack animation is good enough to really contest at a high level here. Like, I'm wondering if you were playing one of your better heroes if you wouldn't be missing all these. Like, I'm wondering how confident you are with Klink's to be able to sort of play it at the same, farm rate. You're not farming it. Okay, so now you're just prepping this. It's good that Storm's not in the area because he would have just denied that the way he did the first rune, or the first wave, the previous wave. What am I battling about? The last wave, you started prepping the range creep, and then Storm surprised you out of the fog of war and denied it. And then basically you did the same thing, and you don't know that the Storm Spirit is way back here. Like, maybe you suspect it, but you probably also suspected it last time when you denied that range creep. So I wouldn't have done that and prepped it that low when you don't know where he's at. This is good that you have the room now. You can deny the Arcane, because that's a big one for him. Papa Clarity, yeah. And you need to go take a small camp. You need to nuke this wave right here, throw it into the tower, and then take a small camp. Okay, that was a freebie. You're also... So this is a minor thing. You're standing in the middle of the stairwell, which means when you attack a creep from here to here, you still get the uphill miss chance. If you finished walking up the steps and you stand at the top where it's level ground, then you don't have the miss chance. So you're actually still sort of missing a few of these, and that was a really easy one. You should have You also just lost a clarity for nothing. You've got a Wraith Band sitting in your inventory. You have 2 Wraith Bands sitting in your inventory for nothing. So this is another inventory mistake. I feel like you do this a lot. You leave good items in your inactive backpack and you don't bring them up here when they should be. So you need to move one of these Wraith Bands back up into the spot where whatever that was, I think it was a mango, and then you need to move the other Wraith Band up to where this clarity is if you're not going to pop the clarity, because the clarity provides an active stat. So you're missing out on 1,000 gold worth of stuff, 10 agility and 10 attack speed and all that other good stuff, because you're leaving it here and you're still trying to contest a wave while you're playing short. It's not like you're running through the jungle and not doing something. Like, this is an important time to have your items active. That's an easy deny. You should have that. You prepped it. You didn't need to. Okay, move up the clarities. That's good. And if you suspect Storm is here, you need to really quickly nuke this and go take the small camp, or take the small camp first and come back. That's a good thing that you spotted that rotation. Yeah. Okay. So Rubik just leaves once he knows his play is botched, and that was interesting that Rubik saw that. Because I thought you went uphill before, so you should suspect that they have vision over your mid area. Good offensive glyph if that's you to get damage on the tower with that creep, but now you need to continue staying here and wipe out this wave and do more damage. Alright, so you did not gank at all in this lane or in this game, which is okay, early game, because the lane, Klinks doesn't have the flash farming and the high mobility that the Storm Spirit does, so I understand that. But I think this is not going to bode well for you in the later game. So yeah, you now have backpacked your healing salve because you never use it in game or in lane. You still have a Tango, which means you only took 70 some damage worth of healing in the laning stage for the first 10 minutes. That's very passive. You should have taken more damage, and I'm not saying like it's a good thing to take damage, but you really got to play further up in the wave, maybe take a little bit of damage from the creeps in order to get those hits on the Storm Spirit, which is good because you were throwing a lot of Searing Arrows at them, but really focus on making sure you get the last hits and denies more. And sometimes that means Storm Spirit's going to hit you. Storm Spirit may even get the triple combo on you. He goes 1-1-1, and he gets the Remnant plus the Overload plus the Vortex plus the Overload on that spell, and he hits you several times. And then you have to use your salve, but that's worth it if trading that salve for all of his mana and 2 last hits and 2 denies or something. But basically, you're going to go into the mid game with extra regen unused. And Storm, basically wasn't slowed down at all when he could have been. But I probably said that 47 times. So, interesting. Both Sage's masks, and you put the Wraith Band in your backpack instead of the branch. And this is, sort of a mathematically... Okay, there you go. I was about to say, you gotta get rid of that branch, because that's worth a lot less. Alright, let's go to position 1. Sven. Sven still has that damn mango tree in his backpack, huh? Or in his pocket. I really don't like that. Now's when I get to talk about that. Alright, here we go. Sven. Quelling Blade, 2 sets of Tangos, Healing Salve, that's a good amount of regen, 2 branches, not particularly thrilled with that, but whatever.
I almost feel bad.
I would have preferred for starting items that these 2 branches were a mango, so you could have an emergency stun and a Fairy Fire. Fairy Fire gives you just a smidge more damage. You have an emergency, panic button for life, and then the mango gives you the panic button for your Stormhammer stun. But with the branches, you're going to get a lot less value out of those. All right, so here we are dancing around the area. Treads into Morbid Mask, or into not Morbid Mask, but Mask of Madness. That's fine. Don't mind that at all. And I imagine the build is going to be Treads, Morbid Mask, Mask of Madness with the Quarterstaff, and then Ags. I don't think you go that though. I think you do like Echo Saber or something first, which isn't terrible either. Echo Saber's, good build up in the lane, but I think you end up abandoning the lane really early to jungle, and so I might have done it differently myself. Alright, so you take stun. You're only going to get a single stun, but you do get the bounty room, which is nice. And you're going to heal all that damage up by the time you get back. So don't eat a tango because you're going to heal it. Cut this with the quelling blade, save the tango. I thought you cut this tree with your quelling blade. Somebody did later. Maybe not. Okay, so this is wasted time. So just like the Oracle, you are absolutely wasting the first 30 seconds of the game. So nothing is happening. You know, these guys are way up here. You see Axe on the rune. Rubik ran away somewhere. You got nice vision here to see if people are rotating around. You got to do something. You need to be standing over here. This is usually a good spot because if you stand here, you can look down the lane this way. You can kind of see down this alley, and you'll see how much or if at all the enemy team is blocking their wave. Because if they're blocking, you don't need to block, and then the creeps will basically meet right here in perfect equilibrium. If they're not blocking, then you have to still stand here because you have to then tank the first second of creep aggro in order for your creeps to catch up and not, you know, basically start the equilibrium in your tower damage range. Or you could be using your quelling blade to start munching out some of these trees or chopping down some of these trees for free, you know, without using tangos so that you can give your Oracle escape pass. And I thought you did because I thought the game started with this tree cut, but for some reason you guys are really intent on just sitting here and wasting the first couple seconds. Like, this is absolutely dead time right here. You're not even trying to block that creep, which is a shame. And the creeps end in an okay spot right here, but that could have been better. Okay, so you tried to aggro the creeps back onto your range creep, which is okay, but that ended up pulling you so far away, and the Rubik was basically the Oracle spending his time doing 12 damage to these guys that you just missed your first range creep. So that was a little bit of something. You deny that? Okay, you don't, so he gets the last hit on Axe, so that's a shame. So basically Axe has 1, you have 0, and you're already just a little bit behind. And of course, this is the infamous pause that I've sat through 5 fucking times now. Alright, and back to the game. Oracle wastes his mana doing that. Should have let him have that deny right there. That's a shame because he could have gotten rid of the Battle Hunger easily. And you got to communicate that. So when you're in a lane against Axe, one of the things you need to communicate between the two of you is when someone gets Battle Hunger, you need to pick what the creep is that's going to be used to purge the Battle Hunger off, and then allocate that creep, you know, as best you can to the person that's been hungered. But that way, you know, when you were sitting right there, the way you guys played that, Pants hit a worthless creep that wasn't even close to being deniable. You denied the creep that was within deny range, and then Pants basically ate the whole duration of Battle Hunger and purged himself for no reason. So you guys got to communicate that a little bit better. That hit was unnecessary, but okay. Prep, hit, okay, good, got it. Alright, now you need to be telling him that that's his creep right there. Okay, see that's a huge mistake. So you guys are there, in lane, uncontested. Okay, you hit that one, that's good, I thought that was a prep. Alright, Pants is doing his thing, coming up, hit this, one more range creep hit, and you kill it. That's a good prep. Alright, now, Pants right here has Battle Hunger on him. So right now, you guys have to decide how this is going to get dealt with. And Pants previously has just been fucking purging himself with it. But he's got 4 seconds, so he can't purge himself this time. So he needs to try and get rid of it with a creep. This creep is the next creep that's going to get within deny range. So you guys have to allocate that to him. And what I mean by that is you guys have to communicate, hey, this is your creep. You have to tell him, right here it's getting low, this is getting low, that's his chance to hit it. He starts to go for it, attacks something else, and then you deny the creep instead. That makes no sense. The person that denies the creep on your team doesn't matter. You guys don't get gold for denied creeps anymore. They changed that a long time ago. You used to get gold, now you don't. So the only reason you want to deny the creep is to prevent the enemy team from getting experience if they're standing within experience range. So whether or not the Sven or the Oracle last hits the creep is irrelevant unless one of them is battle hungered, and in this case the Oracle is. So you really have to save that deny for the Oracle so that he can, you know, get off whatever this extra 50 magical damage is that's going to start burning him down. You need to focus on getting the last hits on enemy creeps because those are actually worth gold, so it actually might be, you know, somewhat logical for you to take that last hit and that gold from the Oracle, you know, because you're the carry and you're farming, even though it's going to cost him 50 magic damage.
Alright, back to the game. Alright, right there. That could have been a perfectly good one to purge off. Good, last hit. Yep, you gotta go up here and deny that. Okay, alright. You missed it anyway, so wasted your time. Stun for a range creep, I understand that. Some people like doing that. I don't think you needed to in that case, but, you know, whatever. Now you guys are going to start losing the equilibrium battle because Rubik pulls and you guys don't. That was early. You missed that. Rubik last hit that with his Fade Bolt, but he wasn't even close. So you missed by attacking too early. That was alright. Right there. You missed that freebie. Alright, you got that one. Prepping it. Too much damage. Rubik just stole that from you. That was a really easy one. You shouldn't have even been hitting it. So right now, well, let's see the end of this wave. Make sure you get this one. Okay, that's kind of interesting. You walked them all the way around, and you missed the range creep. Okay, so you walked in this weird circle over here, sort of delaying one of the creeps to aggro to you. So your creeps ran past it, went to the other creep, and you missed the range. So now a new fresh set of creeps is about to meet, and at the 2-minute mark, you are where? 8 and 2, Axe is 9 and 0. Rubik has 2, Oracle has nothing. So you guys are behind a little bit in the last hitting. Your camera's also really low in these trees here. That's good. You moved it up. But really, this doesn't feel great. You guys should be getting more of these. You can aggro these back if you need to. You're kind of walking a red circle. He's going to purge the battle hunger even though you're 1 hit away from denying this creep. Okay, we missed it. You gotta get that one right there. Don't let the Rubik steal that from you. There you go. You're playing back a lot. Playing like kind of far back. You're playing where the range creep is. Which, you know, makes sense sometimes, but not right now. It's a shame you connected the Fade Bolt. You basically just pulled the Fade Bolt back onto your wave. Onto the Rubik. Okay, yeah, Rubik or Oracle isn't gonna get that one, so that's fine that you took it. Oracle needs to get one of those to get the damn battle hunger off. That's some good harass right there, though. You didn't chase, though. Interesting. Didn't chase, didn't get the deny, but you did get the last hit. That's a freebie right here. Good, don't miss that. Alright. Decent use of your... okay, what are you doing right now? So this is part of the whole inefficiency thing. You're... I bet you're probably looking at your shop because I think I saw the cursor flash over here. But right now you're doing nothing. You ate a tree way down here in this corner, and now you're just kind of standing here for a few seconds. And your creep wave's getting away from you. You're not within experience range. If you were closer, whatever creeps would have died there in that moment you were gone, you would have gotten experience for. You got to kill this little one right here, or the blue one. Okay, you missed the blue one, you missed the little one, you missed that. That was early. You got that. So that was 1 of 4 possible last hits. Looks like you're going to tank these. That's fine. Not a big deal. Creep wave's a little stronger now. Axe is going to nuke with his spin. Okay, you need to deny this range creep. Double hit this range creep right now. Okay, so you just let Axe have like that entire wave for free. You didn't even try to contest. Right there, get that one. Good, that's freebie. You gotta move around and get that. Okay, you missed that one. That was a free range creep. Okay, good. Alright, well that was good. Best wave so far. 21 to 20. Okay. Get back in that wave. Your salve is full. Like you're back at full health. Okay. Keep running away from them, but you're gonna miss all these denies. You're missing a lot of denies because you don't want to stand too close to the axe, which I understand, but you got 3 tangos, you got a dead iron branch, so this branch is sitting in your inventory. I don't know why this whole team really loves, like every player on this team likes to keep dead items in their backpack. I don't understand that. Like, okay, I see you bought the boots, those aren't going to get here for 30 seconds. That was a wasted nuke there from the Oracle. Okay, Oracle's trying to take the creeps that you need to battle hunter, so that's a shame. That's uncoordinated. You threw a stun on the Rubik for no reason, so it's good if you can get the Oracle to help nuke you, but when Oracle's way over here,
and you just saw the Oracle just use 2 of her spells to, you know, hit these creeps over here, you know Oracle doesn't have mana or cooldown to throw stuff again, or really just the cooldown, you got the mana. That stun is wasted. Like, you're getting a little bit of damage. What is it? 110 damage, so probably like 80 after the magic reduction. Probably worse than that because it's fucking Rubik, so he's got, you know, some built-in magic reduction, and you're probably getting 16%. You're probably getting like 65 damage on him. So you basically traded 110 mana just to get 65 damage and not combo with anything. So you really need to save your stun for when your Oracle is also ready to go on somebody, and you can get the root plus the stun plus the Purifying Flames damage. Alright, so now you guys have been bullied back into your own tower at 5 minutes, so you're not going to get any of the bottom runes. That's a shame. The enemy's support is probably going for the river runes, so you should be... Okay, you need to have gone for that range creep. That was a big mistake. That was a weird stun right there. Didn't accomplish anything. Again, the Oracle's not comboing with you, so you guys gotta work that out. So really what should be happening is Oracle should be hiding behind one of these trees here. It doesn't matter if it's just one tree, just one solitary thing, whatever, blocks vision so that he can get a full duration channel. Because the Oracle needs to get a nice long channel, not because it does any more damage, it's the same amount of damage, but so you get a nice big root, because the Rubik is off the way doing something, catching, you know, river runes or bounty runes. Oracle hides in the trees, channels up a full stun or a full root. Then once the root hits, you know, you start rushing in, letting the axe realize that nothing's going wrong until he sees this giant ball fucking fly at him, stun him for 2 seconds or root him for 2 seconds, and then you run up and use your stun. But you guys individually using your spells is just a waste. You don't have any synergy. You don't have the ability to sort of, you know, maximize your slow or your debuff so that you get extra right clicks, and you're basically just trading normally as if you hadn't used any spells at all. So it's a very inefficient way to play the lane. Okay, that was a freebie. Should have had that that last hit. Deny and last hit. Okay, I guess you're trying to stay away from axe calls, which is something, but you're missing a lot of last hits. You need to buy more regen too. So, you know, it's 5 minutes in and you're probably decided you're not buying any more regen. You're just going straight for the Morbid Mask. But that's not great. It's good that you're hiding so that axe doesn't battle hunger off your salve. But trying to stay close enough that you get XP. I understand that. I think you end up jungling right about now. Turn around and get that one. Okay, I was about to say, you almost missed that. Bad spot, yep. You guys stood there and let the axe run into you, and you basically got a free double call. You can't just stand there. And if your Oracle's doing the wrong thing and standing too close to you, you need to move away from your Oracle. Like, don't let the Oracle misplay and then, you know, you just go along with it. Those were freebies. You shouldn't have prepped the first attack and you would have had both those last hits. That was also a mistake. You gotta not prep some of these attacks. You're attacking unnecessarily early and it's not helping you at all. Yeah, you don't want to take that whole thing. There you go. That's good. One more. Perfect. It's a shame. Okay, you missed that for free. And you missed that for free. Okay, so those were completely uncontested, extremely free last hits that you had more than enough damage to get. Even under the tower with the towers hitting them, you must have been distracted by something because you should have had 100% of those creeps. Like if your support is off somewhere dying because he's out of position to the enemy 2 heroes, like that's just unfortunate. You overblocked that wave, so you blocked this a little too much, and the next creep wave ended up coming up into tower range. That's a big mistake. You need to not block those creeps. You need to stand out here by yourself and then body block the enemy creep wave and let them hit you for, you know, a worthless 10 fucking damage, rather than letting your tower hit those creeps and make this a lot fucking harder for you. Okay, good secure with the stun. That one you probably did need to use. You're not going to get that denied because you're not close enough. You get that. Okay, that's good. Alright, this is good. This is where you guys both misplay. Or no, maybe just you. You don't have stun yet. The Rubik doesn't root him, and you didn't have stun in time. Okay, so that makes sense. You could have also came through at different angles and was running right in his face through the trees around the small camp, but that's not a big deal either. Not a great use of the God Strength, but whatever. Looks like you're just going to power jungle, but this is really the big mistake here. So the mango tree provides no passive benefit, and if you were going to plant it somewhere in this area for vision, you know that's a strategy. I think it's a bad one most times because you guys don't have any great, sort of hidden 4-spot fees on this part of the map. But I'm pretty sure you keep this mango tree in your inventory, in your neutral aim spot for like several minutes. You need to immediately right-click this, send it back to the shop, and the next time someone dies, they can plant it over here, and you guys have a lot of mangoes for the rest of the game. But instead, I think you hang on to this for quite a while, and it just sits as unused in your neutral aim spot to like the 12-minute mark at least. And I'm not even sure where you plant it, so that's up for debate too, I imagine. But Oracle's here trying to last hit and deny. It's silly. You basically have a wasted ult that's about to come off cooldown or come off duration. It's good that you're nuking these waves while Axe is cutting yours, but now you have nothing to do. You guys haven't reclaimed this jungle area, so Axe is doing the same thing you're doing. Basically, you and Axe can each individually nuke the wave in a couple seconds and still have full health. But the thing is, Axe can then go back up to this jungle area and farm this small camp and farm this hard camp. You, for whatever reason, don't have that same option, even though you should, and this should be your damn jungle, because you guys have been playing so passively and scared in this lane the whole time. I wouldn't mind if you planted the mango tree like deep in one of these forest areas here for, pre-gank vision, but it doesn't look like you're going to do that either. Here you go. Stack that. Big mistake right here. Okay, so you need to self-stack a camp if you're going to farm it at stack time. And this is just sort of an efficiency thing, but you come up to this camp, you realize, oh yeah, I want to do something. I want to go farm whatever because I'm not busy. It's 8:54. You cut this tree with your quelling blade, which is fine. You're taking a long time. Oh, you don't even cut it. You just walk through. Whatever. You should have cut it so you have better vision. Hit these creeps and then walk out and drag them this way. You took too long walking up here without cutting the tree, and now you just stand here in the camp. The box is like here-ish. You could have hit these creeps one time, walked them out. They would have respawned a second set of creeps, if you don't suspect that this camp is blocked with a ward, and then you would have had 6 things to kill instead of only 3. And now it looks like you're running away. Just going back to the wave without doing anything to the other creeps. So that's a shame. That's a big efficiency thing. You could have been much more efficient as a hard carry by self-stacking that wave for yourself. And then why not stand there and hit that Spectre illusion? Like, there's no reason for you to run away from that. You let the tower last hit the Spectre illusion, and that would have given you like another 10-15 gold. And again, it's like 10 fucking gold. Like, illusions aren't worth a lot, but it's something. Like, you do get some illusion, or you do get some gold from killing illusions. And if you're not going to do anything else in the next 2 seconds, there's no reason for you to hit the Spectre illusion twice and then run away and let the tower get the last hit. Alright, so you're just going to nuke this out real quick, whatever. Not terrible. They glip it on you. That's okay. Yeah, you just stand there. You could have hit those creeps in a different order, and that would have been more efficient. It would have saved you a hit. You gotta rotate which creep is getting smacked with your cleave, so that the ones that are just getting the cleave smash, change, and you kill them all closer to the same time, I suppose, all different times. This is a waste of your time. You're not going to get him. You need to deny that, or Oracle needs to deny it. You need to go back to farming. That's interesting that you did that. That was probably good, though. Grand scheme of things. Oracle needs to deny this damn creep here. Like, why is he letting this get away? Like, that makes no sense. Like, both of you just let that creep run around with like 5 health, and then of course the axe was within experience range when it died, so he got the experience for no reason. Deny and last hit. Okay, that was weird. Whatever.
Just you guys are really being inefficient about your last hitting. You're not trying to contest all the last hits. You're not trying to go for some very free and easy ones. And I think as a team, that is probably like with all five of you guys, that is probably the worst laning stage last hitting I think I've done a video replay on for all five of you, just as a whole. Individually, maybe some of you were better than a previous game, but together that was extremely poor farming, extremely poor mechanics as a team. Alrighty, holy shit, this is a 2-hour video already, and I just got through the first 10 minutes of an hour-long game. Okay, now let's go into team fights. We'll see what's going on here. Okay, so end of laning stage. Let's check everyone's items and see what people have. Oracle's got basically the start of an Urn of Shadows, and again, I talked about that earlier. I think the Spirit Vessel is terrible, and I think that's just really bad itemization on the Oracle's part. What the hell is that a symbol for? I don't know. I don't recognize this. I'm going back to the other thing. Alright. Clinks is going for an Orchid first. Double Sage's Mask before going to Oblivion. I don't mind that so much. Sven, Mask of Madness, going for what? I should just do this individually. Alright, yep. That's going to be the Urn. This is going to be Mask of Madness with nothing in the Quick Buy. That's a mistake. You need to put something here. I think you go Echo Saber next, which is good. I don't mind that item at all. And overall, I think the Sven itemization throughout the game, I think, is pretty good up until the very end. Late game, it goes off the tracks, but before that, I think you have good itemization. The Orchid here makes sense. And the only problem is it's just probably going to be so much further behind the Storm Spirit's Orchid. Look like, yeah, you just have the 2 Sages masks, and it looks like the Storm Spirit has a full Oblivion staff done. Snapfire still trying to go for the Atos. I think that's a big mistake. Arcane Boots would have been really nice as a first item. There should be a magic stick here, if not a magic wand, at least a stick. And again, that should be a Force Staff instead of an Atos. I don't mind the Atos as much, but the order is backwards. Should be Force Staff, then Atos, and I think you just go Atos Force unless you go something weird first. Because I think you do get Greaves, and then you go for like an MKB or something late, which is also a weird mistake. Okay, got the Hood going back for the Phase Boots instead of the Pipe. And again, this is just a lot of expensive shit that could have been a Blink Dagger. If this was Brown Boots and a Blink Dagger instead of Bracer, Hood, Chainmail, a recipe somewhere, Headdress, you would have a good Blink Dagger timing the way Axe is. But Axe ends up going just a Ring of Tarask, Phase Boots, and then Blink. He gets his Blink a lot earlier than you do on the Centaur, and that's a huge issue. The Centaur is nowhere near as valuable as the Axe is for the first probably 20 minutes of the game because you don't have a Blink. On a macro scale, you got massively outplayed by the enemy offlaner because he was an offlaner and you were just a really fat creep with a stun that you don't end up landing almost ever without your Blink. Alright, so let's go into this and see how all the team fights run. Alright, so this is a weird gank attempt. Does this work? I think it's really nice. Okay, so you guys got an Axe kill. That was good. Clinks does a rotation. I think that's Clinks' first rotation of the game. That works out nicely. You guys have top 3 net worth. That's fucking fantastic. And I think a lot of this is due to the Spectre getting bullied out lane, and then I think like the Snapfire, continues to chase him and embarrass him in the jungle. You guys having top 3 net worth is excellent. Centaur's about to take the top tier 1. You guys still have almost all the health on your bottom tier 1. See, did Clinks lose his little tower yet? Nope. Clinks has almost taken the enemy tier 1 and still has his. So on towers and on net worth, you guys are doing fucking fantastic. But I think you fall off and you don't keep the pressure up after you take this tower. So the plan should be off, mid, safe. You should take the off lane tier 1, the mid lane tier 1, and then the safe lane tier 1. And then for tier 2s, go back. Same thing. Off, mid, safe. You should be attacking those 6 towers in that order. Sometimes there's a reason to take a tier 2 before, rotating all the way to the other side of the map. If, a push you have is really good, that's fine. But basically, that's the general priority. But the problem is you guys will end up playing a lot of the rest of the mid game in the bottom half of the map, which is just really bad. You don't get as much out of it. Alright, so Snapfire got his freebie kill on the Spectre. That's fun. I think you guys dilly-dally around here thinking you might get another kill, and you don't. Another blind shotgun blast. I wish you would stop throwing the blind shotguns. Those really aren't that reliable. The easy way to do it is to get the stun first and then throw a shotgun. Alright, so Oracle is just soaking up some XP. This is an interesting fight here. So you guys trade the offlaner for the supports. Oh, now you're going to trade offlaner and a support for 2 supports. Okay, so that was a shame. Oh, and the mid. Okay, so all in all, that was a really terrible fight. And you guys kind of all win in piecemeal. So let's see. Sven is using his God Strength to farm. Okay. The Oracle is dealing with the axe down in bottom lane. Oh, I'm on directed camera. I can't control any of this. Yeah, Oracle is dicking around with the axe down here, and then you guys are going for a weird fight. The kisses look good. It's a really good set of kisses. You killed both supports with that. But now you've committed the Centaur. The Centaur dies, and at this point, once the Centaur dies, you need to get out. You've killed the Rubik. You're going to kill the Lich. He's going to bleed out. But you need to leave at that point. And I think you guys stay, and for some reason, you trade the last 50 health on this tower for nothing. Alright, so he dies, you're going to shotgun blast him, the shotgun blast is late, you miss, whatever. You need to leave. This is not worth it. The Storm Spirit's still in the area, he's bottling up. Clinks is smart enough to start leaving. You try and get a couple more hits on this, takes 2 hits, and now you're going to die. I think you do get the last hit on the tower, so at least that's something. But now Clinks runs in for some reason and starts to attack the Storm Spirit while the Spectre is haunting on him, and then dies. Okay. Yeah, so that was just all in all a clunky fight. Your Oracle was busy doing something else. Sven was using his ultimate to farm, and then used it to smack Storm once. Okay, so that's a waste of God Strength. And there's a lot of waste of God Strength. The other stream was actually talking about it a lot. We'll get to that later, though. Alright, so you guys are just doing stuff. Everybody's farming, having a fun time. And this is what I'm talking about with being in the wrong lane. So right now, you guys are still bottom, trying to defend this tier 1 tower, and you're not putting pressure on the top in this area. So yeah, you may even kill this axe, I don't know. But even if you do, it's a waste. So you need to let this tier 1 go, and you need to take over this whole area and bully Spectre out so that he can only play in this triangle and maybe on your side of the jungle. And then take some early tier 2 towers. You guys are probably going to get this bottom tier 1, which is good if you do. I don't mind this. Okay, another missed cookie, but a good stun without it. Rubik is doing some warding. Trying to get deep vision on the Sven. Sven notices it, I think, or not. You guys are farming still. Okay, excellent job taking that tier 1 tower. Now everyone should be rotating top and mid and basically taking over this part of the map. So at this point, you guys need to focus on this part of the map. This is your area, and this is not. And I've drawn this exact diagram here several times, but you need to really remember that. Off lane and mid lane are yours. Safe lane you give up on and it's dead. Because you need to really pressure when you have a mid game or an early push strat, and you're trying to fight off a super late hard carry like Spectre. If you guys had a later game, then the strat would be different, but that's not what you're going for. You end up winning late, but not by intention, not by design. Alright, so going in and harassing Spectre out of his jungle, that's good. You guys are a little deep here, and they have all 5, and you have 3 here. Oh, you have 4. Okay, that's good. Okay, so that's a little clunky. Not great. The Snapfire kisses are completely wasted there.
So the Snapfire started kissing really late after the fight already started going bad, and you really need to commit the kisses right off the bat. There's no reason to hold the kisses, and then the Snapfire actually ends up turning and trying to throw the kisses onto the Storm Spirit in that fight too, I remember, which is a mistake because the kisses, have a minimum range that you can shoot within, and so there's no point in you trying to turn and hit the Storm Spirit. That's the one hero that you can't get. Alright, so stun, run in, back up, and start kissing. Like right now you should be using the kisses from like back here. You run out here, which is way further than you need to be, and then right now, you twist. This turn, so those first two, okay, that's alright. Then you throw a kiss over here, that's fine. Throwing this next one here is a complete waste. Storm isn't zipping this far away. The minimum range is like this circle around you, and so this turn movement and that turn radius and the time it takes is completely, wasted when you could have tried to do a little bit of damage on whoever's attacking this guy over here. So yeah, now this kiss is worthless, that kiss is worthless, and you got two fewer globs of fire than you could have. Alright. Moving on to the next weird fight. Alright, so Sven is still jungling. Sven does a lot of jungling. This is bad. So you guys can't kill that guy. This is a waste of your time. You shouldn't even be on this half of the map, and you definitely shouldn't be initiating on this person right here. Like the axe is not going to die. Even if Centaur somehow got his stomp off and got the stun, it's not a good fight. Okay, Oracle's showing up. That changes the picture. You should be able to kill him with the Oracle now. Good stun. Alright, and this is probably a kill now. Alright, so that's not bad. Bringing the Oracle did save that. Alright, this is good. You guys lost the Sven, though. Okay, why was Sven in the mid lane across the river behind the tier 1 tower point? That's really weird. I want to rewind and see how Sven got there. Because, even if you guys are fighting here or not, Sven should be farming in that area. That doesn't make any sense. Better perspective. Alright, so Sven is where? Sven is mid. Oh, he wants to take that creep wave. That's bad. Okay, so he runs away from it. Okay, so Sven probably thinks everyone's rotating to help the axe, but that's silly because it's not happening. Maybe he sees these guys up here. That's okay. Kill that creep. Kill that creep. Okay. Kill that creep. Okay, run away. How does this end so badly? Oh, because you turn around for another wave. Okay, so that's a huge mistake. That wasn't terrible that you saw the axe getting jumped here and you saw these guys on the minimap vision up here, and you nuke that wave, and that's fine. You turn around and leave. Staying for the second wave when you're this deep on enemy territory all by yourself and the rest of your team is committed to doing something else is straight feeding. And you die here for no reason. There's no way you get out. Yeah, Storm zips in, kills you, second person shows up, and that was an extremely poor decision to farm there. You should never be farming there unless your team is near you and you guys are invading under like smoke and vision and you just got like several pickoffs. Like that was an extremely exposed position. Alrighty, I didn't even notice that the first time. That's interesting. Alright, those look like iffy kisses. Don't look great. Next is trying to kill the Rubik. Probably gets them. That's good. That's nice. Okay, so you guys got a couple kills there. That was a good fight for you. Alright, Spectre's looking for farm. Snap is mid. Stun, that's fine. Okay, make sure you get that range creep. But deny there. You guys are hitting the wrong tier 2. So the off-lane tier 2 is the hardest one for you guys to get, and I don't understand, because even if you win this, all you do is you secure a little bit of this triangle here, but you don't really want that. It's less farm than taking all of this side, so really you're farming backwards, or you're controlling the map backwards. Sven is doing a good job of farming over here, but the thing is, also, if you secure this side, that means Sven has this whole half of the map, whole half of the map to farm, but instead by fighting and pushing over here, Sven is just basically bouncing between these three camps in your own triangle. It's extremely inefficient. And then he's tempted to run across the fucking river and dive, behind the tier 1 and solo feed. So you're baiting your hard carry to farm in bad areas.
Alright, so he uses God Strength again, double damage, and he's gonna run back to empty camps in the jungle. That's a shame. You guys aren't smoking at all. You guys should have smoked when Sven used his God Strength and picked up the double damage and had no camps. That would have been a perfect opportunity for these 4 people here to all shove in while Orange is basically distracting someone at the bottom. So, lots of unnecessary jungling right now. You guys have an early game advantage. You know, Spectre probably has pretty shitty items. I'm guessing he's got Manta and Drums, so no Diffusal. Trying to get Basher instead of Scotty. That's backwards, but okay. And yeah, you guys are missing a chance here. So they smoke on you guys. Grab him. Grab the Oracle for nothing. Yep, you guys lose that. Great. You're starting to lose vision. Okay, so now the enemy team is playing perfectly because you see, you guys formerly were spending some of your gold to basically block these camps, and now look at this mini-map. They've dewarded all of this. They dewarded their triangle, they dewarded the main part of their, you know, safe lane jungle, and now they're offensively centering and observer warding on this side. So basically, their team has taken over this, well, not even that. Their team controls this part of the map. So basically they have this much, and you guys are left with the pathetic scraps of this little triangle right here. So basically you've given Sven that little bit and given up and lost this part. So you guys are doing exactly, or they're doing to you exactly what I wanted you guys to do when you had an early game advantage, was dominate the offlane side of the offensive jungle. This is a big mistake. You're giving Spectre a lot of farm that he shouldn't have because he had such a bad start, and you're throwing away your early game advantage. That's why the game gets so hard mid-game here. Alright, so that was a silly TPN. Centaur TPs right into vision. You guys spend Snapfire kisses and you waste Snapfire ult for nothing. That's a really that's an interesting spot for the tree. You know, it's some vision, but eventually if they're going to kill that, you're going to lose the advantage of the mangoes. Okay. Interesting. Sven is trying to fight. That's good. Sven has BKB. Or that. No, they get Echo Saber and he's fighting. That is a good sign. Alright, so it's a good pair of kills for the Sven. You guys are doing all this stuff here. People in mid need to be coming down and matching. Oh, that's right. The Clinks misses the kill on the Spectre. Sven goes for an extra wave in mid. Misses that part of the fight. Okay, you guys do kill one more person. Okay. Good stuff. So that's not terrible. And the stun. So you guys are maintaining a slight lead somehow, even though you don't control any of the map. You guys are offensive here, that's good, but there's only 2 of you. You're also not going for a Roche at all. You guys should have Roached by now, or at least been, you know, talking about it and securing that area. Not getting an Aegis at this point is a mistake. You know, Centaur tanks the Roche, and everybody else is pouring damage in. You guys easily have enough to take, you know, an Aegis in like maybe 25 to 30, 40 seconds. Probably 40 seconds at the max, especially if he uses kisses. And I mean, Sven's using his God Strength anyway just to farm the regular jungle camps. You might as well use it to farm an Aegis. Yeah, no smokes and no Roche attempt is another big mistake. So this is a really terrible mid game for you guys. Clinks keeps trying to kill the axe. That is a huge mistake. Clinks needs to not... Okay, that was a wasted stun. Clinks needs to not try and gank the axe. Like, even with the Centaur, you're not getting enough out of that. If you had started that gank on the Lich, that would have worked out better. But now this way, you guys both die. Because I remember the Clinks right there. Clinks breaks his invis for no reason. And then gets caught out here. Yeah, that's a replay bug. It's not actually invis because he attacked the Rubik once. Broke his invis and fed. So that was bad. And then you guys are on the back foot here. Wasted kisses again. Lots of wasted kisses. Alright, that's bad. I mean, you're trying to go up and deward, that's fine, but
at this point, you can't do that anymore. Like, you've completely lost control of vision. When you want to ward the enemy jungle, you need to do it as you're smoking in to get a pick off, and then de-ward on your ward on your way out. So now they're roshing instead of you guys, and this game gets real hard. There's a lot of late game stuff. And unfortunately, this video is getting to the point where it's getting taking too long. So yeah, that fight goes badly, and like the next 5 fights are going to go badly as you guys try and basically recover. And it would probably be good for me to go through all those fights, but we're at 2.5 fucking hours. And if I actually detail some of the fights, this is going to be like a 3.5 hour video.